125.
Oh, well, I'm gonna get back to main thing is spend more time in the gym. Okay, I got a lot of things around the house and me and then with Dad doing and a lot of things I need to work on around the house and around the yard. Okay, I'll get more hiking trips in.
There you go.
And I'll read a lot more,
Oh, sounds
as
good.
much as I used to.
That sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, it's time to get started. Okay, we're gonna open this budget meeting. We're officially opened, and if everyone would stand for us to do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
You're our first
Yes,
department head. Welcome.
thank you.
Um,
And I like it like that.
You like it like that? Good.
Yep.
Good. Get us out of the gate here.
Okay, and really, there's only one real item that I've asked for extra. It would be a one-off, and also is that's the memo I provided everybody.
Yes.
My rationale, why I'm requesting what I am. And the big one is to try to help the county out by making it as smooth as possible any transition. Okay, and also to that, just to let you know, is that this year, of course, I went to Medicare. So I no longer have, so I'm saving the money, the county, beginning in February, and then next year I'm saving the county money from the Medicare, from the insurance. And that's, let's see, for this year it's gonna be $9,286.50 plus 1,000 since I have, plus another 1,000 since I have.
9,000 what?
1,000 since I have a health savings account.
Right, but you said for the year it was 9,000?
Yeah, well, actually it'd be another 1,000, so it'd be $10,286.65. Okay, and for perf this year, because I found out if you're more than 65 and you have over 20 years of time, you don't have to separate from your job. So beginning in May, I started then collecting the perf. So that's the for this year. So there's not paying the perf for the county's not paying in the perf starting in April, and then both of those are going to be. Then there's no health insurance payments from the county to me, and then for both that and then also the perf. So.
You know what the perf savings were?
What's that?
You know what the perf savings were?
Yeah, the perf savings are, well, this year it'll be about $3,450, and for next year it'll be about $5,454, and that's just paid off based on.
5,000 what?
Okay, it'll be $5,454. And I really couldn't find any place else within my budget anyway to try to save the county more money, because it's pretty bare bones right now. And by the way, thank you, since I have all of you at one time, thank you very much for allowing me to hire a building inspector, and Mr. Hughes has been doing a great job. And he's been really helpful, and it's starting to, now that he has his own computer, and then also his laptop, and then also the accountant, his own iWorks account for the building permit program. That's given me more time to then actually on my own computer trying to do some of the tasks that the Area Plan Commission set up for me. And among those right now is trying to take care of accessory uses, related uses to make those changes, bring it up to really current code requirements and have it make more sense, more legible, and then put some of these in the same proper location.
Hey, Bill, is your new bill taking over everything you did?
Nope, only building inspections. Nope. No, because if he is to take over everything I did, we'd be back right to where I've been for the last decade.
So what's gonna happen with that?
Well, if he's only doing the building inspection, that's why I'm asking for someone to transition into my position that has a background as per the Indiana Code. For the director for the Area Plan Commission to be qualified for the position, the executive director must have training and experience in the field of planning and zoning. And so at this, with what the county pays, it's, Fayette County pays, as with a lot of rural counties, it's below both the mean and the median for these. So for what the county pays, you wouldn't be able to get someone that has, say, a lot of experience. Okay, you most likely get someone who's recent graduate or just shortly graduated from probably Ball State, as it's the only planning school in the state. And so that would be a person who probably doesn't have their planning certification, American Institute of Certified Planners, for their planning. So which is why be another, just be a one-shot deal for $22,375 additional to pay for.
22,000?
Yeah, $22,375 for the replacement for the 6 months. That's strictly a one-shot deal. Then it would go back to being what it has been in the past, or what it would be if I was not to leave at the end of 2026. So I'm just trying to get some, of course I'm a planner, so I'm just trying to go ahead and plan for that, the future for the benefit of Fayette County, the people of Fayette County, as far as the planning and zoning.
Back to what you said earlier, do you have a grand total of what you're saving the county by not?
Well, this is just some quick notes, but what it's going to be over next year and this year. Okay, so we'll have approximately.
Bill, do you have single insurance, or do you have insurance with you and your wife? Or did you at one time?
No,
Now
it's
you're
just
in
single.
Medicaid.
It's just single.
It was just single?
HSA,
Okay.
And I went with the HSA because, I don't have maintenance drugs.
Got it.
And so what happened with me with that is that, well, for the most part, I just can't hurt.
We don't want to get into too many details because of the HIPAA violation.
Okay, so let's see.
10,286.65
0
plus
4. So, so over the course, it'll be approximately $29,359 over 2 years, what I'm saving the county by me being on me shifting off of the county insurance and me then taking the retirement from Perth.
Is it 29,000 over 2 years?
Yeah.
I got 19,190.65. Where'd the other 10 come from?
Well, that's both 2025 and 2026, both.
Okay.
That's where that's
Okay,
coming from.
that's where the other,
That's
okay.
over the course of 2 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I didn't do.
Yeah.
Haley, can you move the computer screen so I can see what's before the account number? Well, okay, never mind then. This 2025 expenditure, that is as of what date? Today?
I uploaded it, I did it today.
Today? Okay.
Oh, you want to see the wording? Like next to?
Yeah, that's okay.
to-
It's not a big deal.
Like your screen looks different than mine.
That's all right.
Is that yours?
Do you expect a need for attorney fees
Oh,
this
well,
year?
we'll always have a need for attorney fees, because that's paying for Mr. Leslie.
I understand that, but that's been limited this year.
Yes, it has been limited, and, but, okay.
$29,477.30. Is that what you came up with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's approximately that,
Yeah.
yeah, just a back of the envelope type calculation.
Right.
Go up one, Haley, for me, will you?
Okay, now I suppose it
Well, wait a minute.
maybe drop
Hang on a
5,000 off of
second.
the attorney fees. So if you do get into some needs for litigation, is that that's a different, it's a different charge out rate for the attorney. That's higher than what the actual government service contract is. So, but if we need to, is then if we run into a problem with litigation or needing some more of Mr. Westbrook's time, you can always come back and ask for an additional.
And go up.
So if
Where?
I do the math, Scott,
Mhm.
2025 expenditures, just roughly say times
Okay.
2. Minus the proposed for 26, there's like a $45,000 difference?
We hired Bill.
So for the director, you're only asking $22,375?
No, that'd be for the period of time for someone for the transition.
Okay, just.
Mine is
during
still the same.
Okay.
Okay, my pay is the same, but this is for an additional line item for, and that's for, figure out for 6 months. Because they probably need time to get someone used to the file system we have. Get them up to speed with the permit program, familiarizing with the county GIS and other things we have. And there's almost 25 years worth of files that probably need to be cleaned up, and someone will probably want to change things to make it easier for them to use. So there's other things that are going to happen before I leave and before someone steps into this position.
And
Because if
what-
someone steps into this position and don't have time to do this, it really is going to be chaotic.
So with your 25 years' experience, are you thinking this new director should come in at the same pay rate that you are?
Well, considering what I don't recall what it is offhand for the state of Indiana, but it's okay, I'll put it this way, there is Lebanon, Indiana. The planner has the same amount of experience I have, and it's just over $100,000. So you're not going to get someone with very much experience for even my salary. And the only reason is that you had me for that salary for so long was because of I came back and was to take care of my father. And as my father died when I'm 59 rather than 49, is that it made no sense for me. There's no way I would have found a job as a planner in another jurisdiction. And so it was just easier for me to then just stick it out here. Now, if Dad had died 10 years before that, I probably would not be sitting in this table.
Right. I get that.
So, kind of got the hometown discount.
What did you say the $9,000 was for the software?
Okay, that is the annual licensing fee.
Okay.
That's something we can't cut back on. And the contract with the people we have with this, with iWork, is that as long as we maintain it, 10 years from now, with that same software, it'll still be $9,000. So, the other couple companies that we contacted for the permit software is, well, it would be adjusted every year. Yes, from some of these, and it isn't so let's say if it's a 2-year contract, well, then they're gonna ask for more money in 2 years. You gotta renew the license for the software. So. And the only thing I really need with instruction is that it's the Indiana Association of Building Officials does have code classes on the residential code. And that's one thing Mr. Hughes asked me to get him started with doing. So in order to do that is, one purchase I still need to make is I still need to get the most recent, residential building code books from, I still need to order those from the code council, the company that puts these together. And that way we'll have the most up-to-date, Indiana's most up-to-date building codes. And as with the contractual services, that's still a blank line item, so. And didn't need the contractual services because having Mr. Hughes.
So you didn't do any traveling and,
I had really haven't had much travel. We've only had one thing with travel. The only travel we've been doing right now is when the county car's been in the shop. And so far, there's only been one of those this year, and that was just under $10 for Mr. Hughes, using his own truck.
okay.
What do you use in your other supplies category?
Oh, the other supplies is, okay, that gets used for, well, an example of that is other supplies and other services. They're in the same, other supplies, so I need that. With, that gets used to pay for it's, in the past, it's also been used to pay the labor, say things for automotive work. Because it needs to be, of course, the state of Indiana required to separate out gas, diesel, and oil, and then also things like the tires and maintenance. That had to separate those out. So the line item that you have to use for those has to have the same, either a 200 or a 300. Otherwise, we have to come back to the county council then to swap from a 300 to a 200 line item.
Yeah, you've got tires and maintenance at $550.
Yep.
When did Bill start?
Okay, he started at the first week of April. So,
Is that Bill Mackey?
no, that's Bill Hughes.
Bill Hughes,
Bill
okay.
Hughes, yep. And so that actually saved 2 months worth of pay also for Mr.
And he's
Hughes.
the inspector.
Yes, he's the inspector, yep.
What was his last name again?
Hughes.
And he worked with Tim Scholler, didn't he?
Yeah, he worked for Tim Showalter, okay, then after he worked for Tim Showalter, he then worked for Chad Ripberger. So that's one of the reasons we hired him, is because he's familiar with all the building trades.
Tim Showalter was a good man.
Yeah, and so he learned, okay, so he learned more about his, the actual construction from Chad Ripberger, and he learned a lot from from Tim Showalter with mechanical plumbing, and then also the electric, and that's been pretty invaluable.
Yeah.
And you're looking to retire when?
End of '26. And that was why I gave it, 2 years notice, was to try to work this with county council to get someone in place to try to have a relatively smooth transition to whoever comes after me.
I'm sorry if this has been asked before, but the board members, what is that?
Oh, plan commission members.
Oh,
Okay. Then we also had the board members for the BZA. That's their monthly stipend.
okay. Why is it so low though? So,
Because that's what it was, and I've asked for it to be increased over the years, but it hasn't been increased. And well, if you were to adjust that for the cost of living increases since I started in 2002, it would be close to the neighborhood of $60-some a month, for the stipend. And the secretary would be almost double that $500 also, because that's for the year. And so we pay the secretary quarterly, and then we make payments to the plan commission members and the zoning board members on a quarterly basis.
okay. So you expect it to go up because you've raised?
No, I did not ask for an increase for the board members. That's the current rate at which they're getting paid.
The 605?
Yeah.
So where's the 3240?
No, that,
Okay, 3240, yeah, that's what it is right there, it's 3240. So that's so far because depending upon how many, if we have a lack of quorum, some people don't always show up, while they aren't paid for that particular meeting. So we are not always going to be spending the full amount on the board members, on the BZA, and then also the plan commission members.
604.
It's probably just over here on page 6. Is it BZA? Is it BZA? I can't see it.
This is cheaper than this one.
What we're seeing on the screen is not on the book.
You said you printed this today, right?
It's just in different positions, like the board members are at the top of what you're looking at for the area planning, but if you look at our screen, it's at the bottom.
Okay.
It's there, it's just moved.
It's also got numbers on page 6 as well. Zoning bills on page 6.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's the same right there as it's been for God knows how long.
No,
So,
no.
yeah, for the
So
board
is that-
members and then also for the secretary.
So the 32, is that a total?
Okay, yeah.
That's his annual request, is 3240 for 2026.
And if I understand it right, it's what you would use if everyone showed up to every meeting, right?
Exactly. Yeah. As you, Bob, and then also Kay know that not for various reasons, not everybody is always able to make every meeting. So periodically, then there's a special meeting, and what I've used on a few occasions we've had a special meeting is I've used the leftover from that, it not being there, is I've been able to use that in the past to pay board members for special meetings. I think in my entire time here, I think maybe only once or twice over the last 20-some odd years that I've actually requested from the county council, I've requested an addition. Because I try not to actually have to do it, and the only way I would do it, and I think the only times that was for litigation.
the board members get paid how much a meeting?
That's 30.
$30 a meeting?
Does anybody else have any questions? Because we're already over time.
Do what?
Does anybody else have any questions? We're already over on our time.
I mean, does anyone have any more questions? Scott just got done asking one, that's the reason that we haven't stopped. So, does anyone have any further questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Okay,
Very
thank you.
well presented.
Thank you for considering it next year.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You want to tell Chris to come in as you go out? Bill, you
Yeah.
want to tell Chris to come on in?
Come on in, Chris.
He said, "Oh, boy."
You're not going to, you're firing him.
Chris, you sound excited. You sound excited.
Yours is at 9:40.
Yeah, you can sit there.
Yeah, yeah.
I did bring my secretary, just in case it was.
That's fine. She
Okay.
can sit there with you.
Okay, this one. I'm new,
She
so.
can sit there with you.
Just, yeah, you can sit
Good morning.
there. Morning, how are you?
Good, good to have you. Thank you for coming.
He's on 42, 44, and 49.
Okay, you can go ahead and get started.
What are we supposed to do? I guess
Okay.
this is my first year. so-
Okay, you're fine,
Okay.
you're
Tell
fine.
me what we're doing.
Okay, if you have requests, monies that you're going to be needing
Different than-
for different
Okay,
items,
okay.
So you see that book beside you? That's the book we have, right there. That's what
Yeah.
we're looking at.
Gotcha.
so, but then you just present your budget to us as what your request would be and what your needs are.
So you want to start on 169? That's the easiest, I guess. So down here under repair, maintenance, supplies, cement, we left it the same. Gravel was at 200 last year, we put down for 220 next year.
What
Thank-
page is he on?
49.
I'm sorry. So gravel is the one that has changed, to ask for the bill to get some more. Calcium is the same. Bituminous, we did put down for 50 there. That is, when we're paving, we can almost use that 50,000 in one day buying hot mix. So that's not very far, basically on a road. And next year's, community crossings grant is going from $1.5 million down to $1 million. So it looks like we're probably gonna be back on to doing more of that without the grant money. So that's where the thought was for that.
Bituminous is also your cold patch and your
Cold patch
oil
and oil for
and your
chip and
hot mix. So
seal.
it's just not just for hot mix, so
Yeah.
it's all patching of the road. So that's all materials for that.
So on the gravel, you're asking for 220,000, but what's been expended this year has been only 86,000. And the request, what you expended in '24 was 150,000. So, what's the reason for
Well,
such an
there's-
increase?
There's there's a lot of roads we haven't gotten to in the past.
Right.
And we've got work to do.
Right.
We've got some roads in the north part of the county, I drove them the other day, that are down to the clay. Now, the only reason we're not getting complaints now is because it's not wet. So, but we need to grade, we need to get more gravel on them. The alternative to that is to pave them, and, that's such an expense that I don't think that's gonna happen. We'd like for them to all be paved. It's just, there's, a lot to be done. It's hard for us to get there sometimes, but it's not there, it's just us getting there to do it. And,
Is it because of manpower?
well, I'll throw this out here, and I'm not throwing nobody under the bus, that's not what I'm doing. When I came here December 23rd of last year, there was 15 guys there. Today, there's 11. At a certain point, stuff can't get done without help. And I know I got where you guys are at, trying to save money. I did get the commissioners to agree, we're looking for a mechanic, so that'll put us back at 12, and that's all I'm gonna get, basically. So, I got, times are tough, but, it still takes manpower to get there. So we're gonna be 3 salaries off here. Looks like.
And also on how he was talking about the gravel, the roads that we have done with the community crossing grant, we have to maintain those. So to maintain those, you have to chip seal. So that's why we asked for more, because he's actually chip sealing this year, things that we've needed to maintain over the last 10 years that haven't been maintained. And with less people, he's getting a lot of stuff done that needs to be done, but we have to have more material to actually maintain what we have, or we're gonna end up losing a road like we did.
We
So
chip
on
seal.
the gravel, is the chip seal considered under gravel?
It's under gravel and then bituminous. You've got the oil, which is under bituminous, and you have the gravel that comes out of the gravel,
Okay.
for that material.
We chip sealed 21 miles of road this year. They've been paving 13 miles of road on the community crossings grant, but they were chip sealing less than they were paving the new roads. So we went in and we chip sealed. If you've been out Alpine Road or Springersville Road, those were chip sealed a month and a half ago now.
How many miles?
21, something, yeah.
A little over 20.
So we, basically, if we only did the 13 miles, we're not ever catching up to the roads that we're doing on the community crossroads. And you can go right out here and climb up Ziegler Hill. That was paved when that road was made. Nothing was ever done to it since. Look at it, it's a mess. We gotta pave it now. We actually, if we'd have taken care of that, before me, keep me off, but we probably wouldn't have been in the shape they are with that road. But that's water under the bridge now, but they're gonna pave that. They called me yesterday and said they're moving in Monday, so hopefully we get this started on our grant. So, sorry, got off on that, but.
No, that's fine.
As far as
The salt,
all I think we did was,
We didn't change.
everything else is the same except for shipping and freight.
freight, we did put a little more freight on there. We've been doing more work in the shop, instead of sending stuff out, which is what we should have been doing many years ago. But, so therefore, a lot of that freight, things need to be shipped to the shop instead of shipped to Green Fork alignment that gets added into the bill you don't see. So, that's not a big change there, but there is some, if we have something go down and we have to next day air it in, sometimes the freight's ridiculous, We had that happen once this year, something.
And that's on stuff that we can't go pick up ourselves.
Yeah,
That's not
maybe
close enough.
farther out than we can go get. But,
Chris, back up to the top on your cement, your 6,000,
yes,
did that's jumped way up?
no, I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, cement was 6,000.
The adopted 25 budget. Right. Is that what you're saying, 6,000 in that line item?
Yeah,
I
it was.
don't
it's-
think we
it-
changed
Yeah, we didn't change that, it was 6,000.
And that gets used when we're putting cans in, sometimes we put cement around them, sometimes we use flow fill. In the past, they hadn't been doing a lot of that, and I was trying to do more of that so that we get these cans so they don't settle so bad afterwards. I don't know if we've got clear where we want to be with that yet, but that is a change, so there is where we will use that more often, I think, now. So,
I'm looking at equipment, 50,000. We haven't expended anything yet. Is that,
That
Tell
does
me
get
about that.
Split, I'll answer that. Some of that does get split, we are using some of that this year, but it's, when our 1176 is so low, we do split some of that
Okay.
between 1173. So let's say you have a piece of equipment that can be considered under the sub-fund 1173.
okay,
You can't do it all under 1173, we do split that with 1169.
1169.
So, I don't know if you guys have gone through a lot of the 1173, so like, if we do, patchwork for that day, we
Mhm.
cannot take that out of 1173, that has to come out of 1176. But if we do, spray patch or, hot mix, we can take that out of 1173. So when you have a piece of equipment that can be split between those two funds, we have to split it in
And
the
use
funds.
1169, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So, same thing for 1176.
Okay.
So that's why we're using it very cautiously, because we only have so much to spend out of 1176, that's
Got
why.
it.
no, you're fine. It's a good thing you came.
So that's all for the 1169, and it's just for the gravel and the bituminous, that way we can ship some more next year and spray patch more.
So, I just pulled up, you can see the expended from 1173 this year so far. Over here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
What'd she say?
What's on your screen in front of you is the expended from 1173 through today.
I don't know, does everybody understand what 1173 is versus 1176?
This is
No,
your
go
funds.
ahead.
Okay, so what that is the state came in, what was it, Haley, about 6 or 7 years ago at least?
Yeah, probably.
It makes no sense. So what, instead of the full deposit in 1176, they said, okay, we're splitting that deposit into a new sub-fund. That sub-fund has to be used directly on roads. So, and they tell you exactly what you can do. So like, it's annoying a lot of times because like mowing. you
It's
can
very
mow.
annoying.
It's, oh gosh, it's insane. So like, we can't use any of that fund for, pothole filling. So like, if my guys, half my crew goes out for pothole filling, that has to, their payroll has to come out of 1176. But if the other ones go out and they spray patch, or they do, hot mix, that can come out of the 1173. It's still road repair, but you have to do exactly what they say. So like sign repair, if, Brian goes out to do a stop sign that's been hit, that's out of 1176. But if he goes and replaces a sign, a road name sign or another sign, that comes out of 1173. So we have to, that's how that fund is split. But if you don't have the funds in that 1176, you cannot spend it in 1173. There is zero budget balance for 1173, so let's say that a fund has
And that's from
50,000.
state.
Yeah. So, yes, so that's how that works. So we have to be very careful with what we spend out of 1173 versus 1176. That's why you see so much more in there, because the last couple of years, we have not done the road work to come out of 1173. That's why it's depleted the 1176 so much, so. But what you see is what Haley said is the 1173, that's why there's no budget balance, because it has to have the same budgeted amount as the 1176. So we have to be careful how to spend over that.
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah.
That's a lot of them like that.
It's very complicated. So really you can.
So you, but I mean.
We're
that you
trying
have
to do everything we can out of 1173
Yeah.
right now, which is why the guys today are out burning roads. The road burning is on 1173. The paving is on 1173. You know, while the weather's good, I've got one guy mowing roads today because that's paid out of 1176. So, and yesterday, he was in a truck burning roads, so he's not always doing that. But
That's just in 1173.
I don't think that's always been done that way. It's been just, so
Right,
we're playing
that's
catch
food
up.
state.
Really, that's what we
Right.
do. And it's gonna be a while to catch up, but.
How do you feel about the, I don't wanna talk about it, but, snow? How do you feel,
Snow is,
I know it's a bad four-letter word, but, I mean, whip down the employees.
it's gonna hurt. And here's what I hate, because,
What's the amount?
Are you telling me more snow days?
well, here's my feeling. We used to be able to plow basically every road in the county in a day if we got a big snow. With less people, that's snow. So where's that gonna affect the school system? See what I mean? I hope that it doesn't a lot, but you take three guys out of trucks, that's a lot of territory we're not gonna get, you know, I mean, I don't know, and, you know, snow removal is all 1176, that's the trouble. All winter long, we live out of 1176, we can't do anything, because you can't pave, you can't farm roads, you can't do nothing in the winter. So, you know, and they're just seeing the almanac yesterday says cold, snowy winter, not very sure, so we'll see if that happens.
Well, there'll be probably creative scheduling too, won't there? I mean, there's probably a limit on how, is there a limit on how many hours they can be out and all that?
Here's what we try real hard to plow snow if we're removing snow during the day. Because when we plow at night, you can't see as well. And that's when there was times last winter, we plowed 2 hours after dark. We had something happen to a couple trucks, then we spent 4 hours the next day in the daylight fixing trucks. So, you see what I'm saying? At a certain point, plowing all night long, you think, well, there's less traffic, but you can't see the stuff out there.
Well, it only snows on Fridays and Saturday nights.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Sunday nights,
So,
overtime.
you know, we did have an instance last winter, just since I came, where we tried to plow at night, and we spent 4 hours the next morning fixing trucks where they should have been out on the road. Here they are. So,
And one tow out of the ditch is $600, just for them to hook up, pull out the ditch, is $600. So, yeah, so you have to be careful with.
Okay, go ahead.
where we at now?
Yeah, it should be at the 1176.
Which is,
And the director of this first page. So,
this one.
Page, we have page 42 and 43.
176.
Would you,
And 44.
That's one. Okay, so at the supervisor, we did put in for that. I guess that's one of the things if you don't ask for, you never see it. Tracy done an evaluation this year, so I figured that would go with her, whatever she determines there. And the assistant, Angie, which is the secretary, the commissioners had asked for me, they was passing the county phone around on, you know, like somebody's out, they said, well, we'd like for you to just keep that. So that's what we did. We left the salary the same. We felt like she does more, and she's doing more with the claims and stuff now. So that's where we felt like we could work with that. And then
Basically, there's no need for my stipend.
But she's
Before
not
the-
carrying the phone.
Yeah, I'm not carrying the phone like there was before, and, I think they had made it a long time ago, I think before I even got there, that, for the overtime and comp time, there's not a lot for me. If there is some, it's very little, and I would rather do that than if I ever did get any, than to do the stipend, so, especially not to carry the phone, so that's what
So
that
who
is.
does this stipend go to?
I get one and the secretary got one.
Mhm.
And that's for carrying the phone and calling in the guys when the trees are down, or snows or whatever.
So you both are in that same account?
Yes, there's a stipend account for each of us.
State on any of this.
73.
Hmm?
I'm looking 73.
73.
It's just a second.
So on the sick pay, we've got, well, it's happened, we had them 3 guys retired this year. When we buy them out with their sick days and things, that becomes that's why that number is there, is because the first of the year next year, January, February, we've got at least 2 guys leaving, if not 3. That are old enough to turn 65, they can retire, but we've got their time or their, this all predates me, but to pay out for their sick days and those things.
They can accumulate them, I assume.
Yes, to a certain number, right?
What, 192 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, or hours, I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's exactly what they
Yeah.
have, so, and we really have 3 guys, because one is possibly gonna go in March. I know 2 are definitely gonna go that I'm aware of, so they have the maximum hours. So, yeah. And with their salaries, they can roll them over with their, union contract, they can roll their hours over, so that's how they accumulate that many.
Office supplies, that's the same.
Okay, one question I have on the drug and alcohol testing, you've tripled. Why? With less employees?
Well, at that time when we did it, that was before we knew that we weren't gonna get all the employees back. Drug and alcohol testing, we have to have, once every other month or every 3 months, and it's very expensive. They bring the DOT comes and the DSA comes in and you have to do the drug testing and do that as well. If a guy has an accident, they have to be taken to.
Right.
So we have to make sure we have the money, and it's expensive. So. Now with less employees, it may be different now, but that's what we had based it on before with the number of employees.
Okay.
Your building and maintenance repair, is that something new?
What did you ask?
The building and maintenance repairs is $1,500 and there's 0 in past on 1176. On page 42.
Okay. Any more questions on page 42? Move on to page 43. So on the garage mechanic, is
Yes.
that, so that's like the salary
That, here,
is doubled?
well, here's what, we're gonna have 1 mechanic instead of 2. That was one of the things with the commissioners negotiating. So what we're looking for, and we're still looking for that mechanic. We have a guy in there now, but he's one of the guys that works there. But we're gonna have 1 mechanic, and then if that mechanic needs a hand that day, we'll be able to pull somebody from, like the guy that's in there working now, and help him for that day. But we're gonna end up with 1 mechanic, and we did ask for more money for him, which is a contractual thing with them, but we're not gonna be able to hire the mechanic that we're looking for as one guy and keep that mechanic for what it takes right now. So I think the fair thing with that would be, you know, you're gonna lose a salary out of this deal. It's gonna take just a little bit of that to get that guy here. And we've been advertising now. I do have an interest, but I haven't got clear there yet with him. So, but, you know, it's nothing you don't hear every day. You know, they can drive an hour and make $35 an hour. You know what I mean? But we, you know, there's reasons to be down there. For
So he
us.
would be full-time?
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah. But that's, they had two guys there before, and the one named, I don't guess they were named, they were supposed to be equal, but the one guy retired, turned 65, retired. The other guy went on to a $35 an hour job somewhere else, that wasn't being a mechanic, so he didn't have to get dirty. So, can't fault him for that. But so right now, I technically do not have a mechanic other than the guy that's filling in. Which, once we get a mechanic, then that guy goes back out to help. But, so we're tied up, see what I mean, backwards there. But, right now, but.
And I guess the Social Security and Medicare has went up $50,000 with less employees.
Well,
It's a-
that was all before we.
Okay.
We turned this in,
Yeah.
And retirement went up, it's 80,000, that's went up 50-some thousand. Group health insurance is 300,000 and it was only 113,000.
It was 80,000, we kept it
And
the same.
unemployment is 3 times what, actually 4 times.
I think you're looking at just expended so far.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
kind
say,
of double
we're-
that
we're
in a
not
way.
Right, but
Double
I'm
that,
just-
but then it has.
But I'm just saying, that's regardless, doubled or not, it's,
Well, it's one up.
it went up a lot. Let me see here. Actually expended so far is on the screen.
Is your group health, is your health insurance, is it through your union
No.
or through the county?
Well, I don't have it,
But the
guys, it's on the county's health insurance deal. They had it for the union, and then it got negotiated out in the last contract, somehow. But again, that was before me, so I don't know the particulars of that.
Thing that this
Mhm.
part of the
On pace to
radios.
do about 186 for 61% through the year. So 113,911.
Right.
So that by 186,000. So on pace to do right now. They're asking for 300.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went through this budget, we raised very little things. Now, things might not have all come out yet this year, I don't know, but very few things was raised.
What's not showing here is what we budgeted for this year.
Under
Right.
under technology communication, we raised that 15. A lot of the radios in the trucks just don't work anymore right, so we need to do some updating on some mobile radios in the trucks and
Can
some
you
of the.
pull that screen down just a little bit? Move it up. Uh-oh.
I don't.
You're expecting to purchase more equipment this year?
As far as big equipment, we need to replace the wheel loader down there. That is got 16,000 some hours. Been there since the early 90s. So that is gonna be something we've gotta do something with here one of these days.
How much those run?
I got 3 quotes on 2.
Pardon me?
44 was the lowest quote, yes.
Unreal, aren't they?
I know, that's why I said.
Okay, there's the adopted.
And that was a case, that was a cat, and it was, much as I hated it, it was a John Deere. I did get one.
Got that going.
Luckily, it was plenty high, so it just didn't really fall in the ballgame. But doing my part, I did quote a John Deere.
I'd like to see one of them, that'd be good.
I'm telling you this.
Kind of broke my heart to do it, but I did it.
And that's where Gary can split on those funds that I talked about between.
You've got a big jump in truck and motor vehicles too, so you're gonna be replacing some of those also.
The trucks, yeah. We're gonna need to do something. The commissioners are asking about leasing trucks. I'll be honest, I have a fear of that. We can lease trucks and we can make them cheaper by getting steel beds instead of stainless beds and things like that. But here's my fear on that. At the end of that lease, say we have a different set of commissioners and they say, oh no, well, let's just keep that truck. Well, then we spec'd out a truck that the bed's gonna rust out on in another 10 years after. See what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm against the lease, I fear what may happen somewhere down the road with it. And then we have trucks, we wish we, you know, you get a brand new truck, it'll be fine for 3 or 4 or 5 years. But our newest truck down there is a 2013, the newest tandem is. So we're well beyond where we probably should be on some trucks. And you know as well as I do, all the new emission stuff, if we order new trucks, we're gonna have more trouble than probably we have with some of the older ones now. But the older ones that we have stainless beds on them, you know, keep the frames washed off, try and keep the salt off the best we can. They'll last a long time. When we go spec'ing trucks and thinking we're leasing them and getting cheaper trucks, maybe the metal's thin, you know what I'm saying, on the bed. Salts, you know what salt does to all this stuff. I relayed that to the commissioners, and I think they understood my point once I got there with it, but we're all elected for 4 years, whatever it is, you know, and by the time that lease is up, they could have a whole new idea here and say, no, we'll just keep them, and then they're gone. But not that that's terrible, it's still a newer truck, don't get me wrong, but if we're going to keep them, I think we should expect them to keep them. You know? So yes, and a new truck doesn't cost quite what a loader does, but it's not far off. So there's a long ways to go there.
Well, they may not have been privy to that.
Right,
I appreciate you letting her go, because I was like, you know, I don't know what kind of hornet's nest I'm walking into here.
Kicking and dragging, so,
Hey,
yeah.
Hornets nest, we just asking you
I
questions.
know, well, and
We're not out to get you.
I didn't think he was.
The horns don't come out for 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was, but being new to this, and I didn't come from, you know, I'm just a retired fireman and an old farmer out here. I didn't, you know, this is all new stuff for me to figure out.
You presented well. You did good.
You made a good team.
Yes.
She could answer the hard questions.
It'll come.
I did have one more,
Sure.
I missed it on 1176 contractual services.
Okay,
What
that's
is
a
that?
big one. So,
Yeah, it's a big one.
Butler Fairman, huge for us because we pay for a lot of.
Is that the engineering?
Yes,
Yeah, that's
because we
the-
got the grant.
Hazer rating on the roads, that's who rates our roads for us.
Our Centos comes out of that.
Yes.
Like, we just had the chip seal done, so we were able to take that out of 1173, the good fund that we want to try to use as much as possible. We were able to take the services out of that for that because we can sign a contract for that. So yeah, we can. That's where stuff like that was good to have that.
Okay.
But that's a big one for Butler Fairman too. But Centos is huge, so we have a large expense for Centos.
And I think the commissioners are gonna make a change there in contract negotiations.
Okay.
So that I think will fix I don't know if you ever fix it, you gotta have uniform stuff, but I think there'll be a change there through the commissioners during negotiations. But for example, we talk about that bituminous and that 550,000. When we did 21 miles of road, we had $220,000 in oil and a truck. Our distributor truck down there that sprays the oil down does not function. It's bad. So we leased a guy to come in here and spray it for us, and then we put the rock on and haul the rock. All we did was get a guy to come spray it. But that total of that was $220-some thousand. So when you look at 550, it don't take long to eat up the hot mix and the oil. You know, that oil's, it was 205 something in the lease of the truck. But that also came when that old truck comes in, it comes with the driver. So me being short of help, that makes a world of difference. I don't have to find the driver. He comes here and shoots it, we spread it, chip, and go on, and roll it, go over the rock when we do it. So, but it don't take long to spend a lot of money
No, it doesn't.
doing this.
Yeah.
But
And
you know, if
thank
we
you.
didn't
We're gonna have
step
to-
up the chip seal, we're never going to catch up with the roads that they're paving.
Yeah.
You know, and we're a long ways from doing that, but we got to start somewhere.
Do you have any idea how many miles of gravel road we have in Fayette County?
There's a shade under 400 miles of paved road, right? But gravel road, you think there's not many, but you get out looking and there's a whole lot of gravel roads.
When you least expect, yeah.
And one thing, I know we all think we want to pave every road in the county, but let me tell you this to help understand us a little bit. There's really nothing wrong with maintenance on these gravel roads because that comes out of 1173. So, and we can do that earlier in the spring, or, you know, there's a lot of times we're stuck through the winter in 1176, and that just kills that budget. I mean, you can ask Jane, or, you know, everything comes out of there. But as soon as we can get out and grade some gravel roads, haul some gravel, top these roads, that gets us back into 1173 earlier in the year. It's a shame that budgets have to dictate what we do, but here we are. You know what I mean? So.
Yes, and thank you very much. We really need to move on. Thank you so much. Mr. Richardson, you're welcome to come up. Sorry if we're running late. You've been waiting patiently, so.
I'll make it easy.
Okay, you're on page 11 of that book too, if you want to
I
look at it.
did this just to kind of outline each
Okay,
chapter,
thank you.
because I'm doing a lot.
Okay.
So the red ones on there, I'm eliminating and I'm adding a green one, which is the salary for my chief deputy. So we can go down through here. So uniforms, I was told I couldn't buy uniforms after trying. I just can't do it. Photo equipment and supplies, I tried to buy a camera out of there and they came back and said I couldn't buy a camera out of that because that's not photo equipment. It has to come out of equipment. So we're just gonna get ahead and get rid of that one. Autopsy supplies are staying the same. I don't use any postage. Travel and training expense, that's all paid for through the coroner board, so we don't have anything to do with that. Transportation costs, I'll keep that the same. That's one of those that goes up and down depending on how many deaths we happen to have. So, you know, some years I give money back and sometimes I have to ask you for some. So we'll just keep it the same as it is. Same with pathologist and autopsy. I think that last year I had to ask for some more on that, and this year it doesn't look like I'm gonna have to ask for more. That's just the way that goes. Meeting expense, I don't have any meeting expense. Assistant coroner claims is gonna go down, and we're gonna, hopefully we can get my chief deputy coroner on the salary. I'll tell you why we're doing that here in just a minute. Autopsy panels and labs, that's gonna go way down. I don't know, we've spent, I don't know why it's so much in the first place. really don't know. That was before my time. And we can bring the equipment down. We're spending a lot on the equipment to get this pump back up, but I think we can bring it down easily. We need that much. Chief Deputy cornered us so much that she doesn't get paid for. I work a full-time job, so there's a lot she kind of does in my place. There is a child fatality board that she is on, and we meet quite often, discuss fatalities in 3 or 4 counties around the area and make decisions that way. That's a state mandated thing we have to have to be a part of. So she does that, and she covers for me. But she'll also be going on cases, so that's why this assistant coroner things went down, because she'll take the cases without. And I think there's a lot she does that, as a retired person, that I just don't, it would be hard for me to do, having a full-time job plus this job. But with that, I have saved you, I know it's not a lot, but I did my part, $1,425.
Well, thank you for any savings.
That's-
We appreciate
Yeah.
that. Okay. Well,
Talk- Can you talk about the assistant coroner claims real quick?
Mhm.
Give me an example.
Like the deputies, when they go on a call, it's a phone call. That's what it's called. They get $150.
A deputy.
Deputies, yeah.
That's Kathy.
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
And Alicia and Angela,
Okay, so there's more.
yeah.
Okay.
And they'll stay the same.
Who's your chief deputy coroner? Is
That
that
would be Kathy.
Kathy? Okay. And that's who you're asking for the,
Right. Yeah, well, Kathy and then whoever is chief deputy coroner, you know,
is she planning on quitting?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Okay,
I hope not.
You keep saying, maybe.
Well, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
want to,
Because
it's
you
not,
fund
it's
the
not stuck
position.
with her,
Right,
per se.
right,
You
but
fund
that's
the
just.
position.
Right,
You don't
who's
fund
ever
the
in that
person.
position. It's a new
Right.
position, I guess. is
Right.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Anybody have questions? Any more questions?
Well, I was just looking to find his numbers in the book to compare it to this.
Is there any consideration with finding a new place for the morgue and how much that will cost?
I don't know any costs, working with Dale Strong and the commissioners,
Are you getting the old ones from the old hospital?
I hope so, yes, let's put it that way. I don't
Are
wanna s-
negotiations ongoing about that?
Yes,
There.
I don't wanna say publicly here.
That's fine.
I don't wanna put the cart before the horse.
Sure.
That's fine.
But hopefully, yes, hopefully that works out for us,
Okay.
so. But, and as far as the building and everything, we're kinda talking about that, the same thing, I don't wanna step on anybody's toes out
Right.
here in public.
Right.
You guys can talk to me anytime about things.
Thank you.
Very much.
Yeah. You presented well.
There you go.
You're
It's
trying
easy.
to save
I
us
made it a lot
money.
easier too.
That's
I don't think
good.
we need all these categories and all this
Good.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's old stuff, so. Okay, sure, there's no more questions or anything?
No.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I'll get you back on track.
You did good.
You guys have a great day.
All right, Dawn, if you want to come on up, and if you want to turn in the book to pages 10, 16, and page 30 is your
10, 16, and 30?
10, 16, and 30.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I don't write it down, I forget it.
I hear ya. You can go ahead.
Okay, this year will be an election year. This last year, 2025, was a non-election year, so it's kind of a little bit easier with the budget. This year is an election year. Basically, postage has gone up, and it keeps going up. That's definitely went up in me asking for the budget. Seems like lately we've been doing a lot of certified mail for the courts, and that's gone up to almost $11 per certified mail, and it's not guaranteed. So that's where I'm having issues with that. So that's gone up. Let's see here. I did ask for a little bit more for my staff, just 1,000, I think. Like I said, like postage on this on page 10 is the same. Meetings expenses about the same. Same with travel. Usually use both of those, especially when they have us go all the way down to the end of the state for conferences.
Anybody have any questions on page 10?
Are those conferences, are those the required
Now,
things that we were talking about the other night?
I have one from the state I have to go to in June. It's a 3-day state board accounts I have to go to. The other ones are just extra lane I could use for my hours to go because I have to have so many hours. I am required to have so many hours a year. So yes, I do use those for hours, but they're not state called ones.
But your perpetuation fund will,
Correct, my perpetuation fund and I have used that too as well,
okay.
to use towards that.
So is that like double? Or-
Pardon me?
So is that like double then, or
Double.
like as in, is there another line item? I mean, is that
It's another account.
Yeah, it's a completely different account.
a different account?
Yes,
That's what I meant.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We're on
Page
16?
16, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Election. Like I said, as again, it is an election year. Board members, I kept the same. Absentee is down from 2024 since we went to vote centers, so I did bring that down. Like I said, we've saved the county money in the last 2 years, about 15 grand, changing vote centers. Mechanics same.
And the precinct board members.
Those are all the people that work the day of the election. I left it at that just in case. Because we did spend,
Because in 2024 it was 9,080. And that was an election year.
yes. I may have wrote the wrong number on there.
Okay, because
on that.
it's,
Yes,
that's,
because it would be 35,
$12,000.
hold on. I need to do some math real quick, hold on.
Pardon me?
I need to do some math real quick to make sure
Okay,
that
you're
that's
fine,
the correct.
you're fine.
I may have wrote down the wrong number on that one. 35. 30. We paid the 5 ones. 750. Yeah, that number could change down to 15,000.
Okay, so half.
Actually, no, now that I think about it, that also pays for the people that work for early election too as well. So the ones that work during the absentee, that 30 days as well. So that's where that money comes out, that's why it's so high, because we have the workers that work the election, the absentee board as well.
Didn't we have that in 2024 as well?
We did, but that was on another different line. That would have been under, in 2024, that would have been under, because they took some of my lines away when they redid the sheets. So that's why it was taken from the absentee board line, absentee
Oh, okay.
workers, so that's why it's in there. I
Okay.
apologize. So that line is gone, so that's why it's at 30, because I have to make sure I have enough to cover if I have to have certain people working for the early elections, early voting, excuse me. So yes. So that needs to stay. I'm sorry, they combined those two lines together when we moved the sheets.
Okay. And then the voter registration per diem, you've never asked for that, and it's 1,700.
So the state passed an IC code that county councils may pay the clerk a voter per diem fee if they work alongside, which I do because mine was only part-time. So when she's not there, I'm the one doing that job on top of my others as well.
What's the problem with maintenance? $15,000 for maintenance?
That's when they come in to do the voter maintenance fees. That's what we pay Microvote to do all the maintenance on the machines.
We've never paid that before. Sorry.
No, you are perfectly
I'm
fine. You are fine.
Is this not in it?
Right, if it's not, yeah,
It's not
no,
in
you're
any
fine.
other line item.
No, you are perfectly fine. I don't have where I turned that one in. Oh, I know. Where's that here?
Sharon, back on that per diem, the commissioners,
Line 10219. The per diem,
yeah,
okay.
we've never paid it in the past.
No,
Because the law says you may pay it.
I cannot hear you.
The law, she's saying the law says you may pay it, it's not a must, but
Right.
it is requested on its made.
Okay.
It's been requested in the past and never been paid.
So the
Has it been
15 is for the, also for the iPads too, that we had to do I had to come and ask for the 4,500 for the contract fee.
But it
So
was
that's what that is,
during the,
along with the microvote.
yeah, okay.
Sorry, I talk while you talk, I apologize.
No, you're fine. I was just talking to Haley. You go right ahead. So,
That was for the poll pads. I had to come ask for $4,500 for a contract that was signed before me. So it's part of that. As
The
well-
15,000.
Yes, as well as with the maintenance for microvote too as well.
okay,
Because they're gonna have to upgrade our machines. Our machines are kinda old, so they're going to do it little by little to help with the maintenance of the machines.
okay, because down on line 30230, it's, wait a minute, she just moved it on me. Where'd it go?
Oh, no, it's right there. The poll pads are right there.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
So
I'll look to see why I put that on there. Can
okay,
I-
because
can I
there's
refer back?
microvote support
Yeah.
of 30,000, and then microvote maintenance or machine programming for 17,000.
The program is when they come and do the programs for each time of the election, and then the support is to pay for them to do that, plus they come and do the testing, public testing. They also come and do is set their machines up. They also do, they do a lot. They have someone that comes here and helps us with both elections too as well. They're a godsend. So let me double check on this 15. Can I get back with you?
Yes,
Sounds
Okay.
like job perpetuation to me.
What?
Sounds like job perpetuation.
That, unfortunately,
Yeah.
no.
You buy the product, I have to serve it the next 20 years and
Yeah,
get paid
exactly.
for it.
No, I understand that
if
one.
you could check on those
Yes,
for sure,
30102.
because that's 1545, 17,
An awfully expensive election.
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, but we've changed it. I mean, if you, in 2016, which was a presidential one, we cost $60,977. I brought down to $52,608 going to vote centers. It may not that be, you know, a huge savings, but that's a big savings. So.
And you're doing a good job, we're not,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
no,
just-
that's
just
perfectly fine. I'm just,
questioning
no,
you.
you're more than
Okay.
welcome to ask me the questions.
okay, but if you could
Yeah,
check
I
on
will
those
check on that.
three, yeah.
I did this so many months ago, I honestly have not slept
Okay.
since then, so who knows?
Okay. Well, good, thank you.
No, not a problem. I will do that.
Okay, are there any other questions on page 16? Okay, if you want to go on to page 30, that parks perpetuation. Did you just hire someone in your office?
I replaced, yes, my part-time, I had a full-time person and a part-time person leave
Okay.
due to pay on both ends.
Okay,
So I did hire both of them. So the part-time person starts the 25th and the full-time person starts September 4th. And she's doing child support, which is needed. And the part-time is the one that will do the voter registration.
okay.
And she will be paid, half of her salary comes out of the perpetuation fund.
Okay,
I try to use as much as I can to benefit the county out of the perpetuation fund as I can.
thank you. Okay. So this year you're asking for 6,500 for the part-time?
Yeah, out of the perpetuation.
So it's just, yeah. Okay, so you're wanting that to come out of perpetuation? Okay,
And then the other one would come out of the general for
okay,
the other half. And that pay didn't change. I left it the same. That part-time person is still making the same as 2024. I didn't change that.
okay.
And they were 28 hours.
20 hours?
28.
Oh, 28?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
It's very helpful during an election to have her there. Or at least Kimberly was. I don't know about this one yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Okay, questions on page 30?
All right, I will get with that and I will email
Okay.
you.
Okay, you presented well, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Good luck, Judge. You're welcome.
Mr. Brandstetter,
Good morning.
how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good, good.
Thanks for being here. I know it's a long couple of days for you guys.
You
are
bring
on-
any donuts, Hubie?
What's that?
You bring any donuts, Hubie? You didn't bring any donuts?
Oh, we didn't bring you donuts. No, sorry about that.
In that book, you're on page 8.
Page 8.
Yes. All righty.
Circuit Court's in really good shape right now. I have really good staff. Things going pretty well with the budget. I think our request this year is really similar to what we requested last year. And I think we're in good shape with it.
Yeah, those psychiatric evaluations are,
Yeah, unfortunately, those are up, and I don't know how long that's gonna be like that. I think I heard a statistic recently that statewide, those are up 400%.
yeah, yeah.
So it's not just here.
Yeah, Judge Freed has came in too on those, that's
Yeah.
the mental health situation,
Right.
yeah. So on the deputy reporter bailiff, requested budget is 68,488. The adopted budget in 25 is 56,489, so you're requesting $12,000
Yes, that's raised for 2 people.
for 2 people?
Yes.
Okay. Let me write this down here. So that'd be
Okay, the chief court reporter bailiff, that's 2 people? Or is that 1?
That's 1.
It's 1.
Yes.
And so the deputy court reporter bailiff, that's 2?
Yes.
Okay. So we're seeking a 30% increase on the chief court reporter bailiff.
Yes. And I understand the money's tight this year, and that's very unlikely, but I do want my staff to understand that. I do appreciate them, and I do value them.
I got it.
That they're very underpaid. But I understand your position, and when I think when I came up with this budget, I didn't understand full extent of what you guys will be looking at this year.
I got you.
So,
Thank you, Your Honor.
I do understand.
Thank you.
Well, it lets them know you came to bat for them anyway.
Right. And like I said,
Yes.
at the very beginning, they do a great job.
Yes, they do.
And I've gone through a lot of staff over the years, but over the last couple, I haven't. And that's so wonderful not having to turn around and train someone every 6 months. It makes it so
Absolutely.
much easier, you know, because they deal with a lot of really serious issues. And when you have someone new in that position constantly,
Yeah.
it puts you on edge.
It's hard on you.
Yeah, because you're always wondering, oh, hopefully, you know, we didn't miss a deadline.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate
Yes, for
them
sure,
having them in there.
for sure.
Kaylee, can you go down a little bit? Right there.
Your mom is-
Your Honor, I want to ask you about pauper attorney contracts.
Yes.
Right now, looks like in 2024, we spent $59,000 on, over $59,000 on pauper attorney contracts. We're on pace right now to do just under $32,000.
Yes.
We adopted a budget of $95,000 and you're asking for $120,000.
Right.
Do you expect things to kind of balloon next year?
It's very possible, and the reason for that is we have several high-profile cases that are pending. We have a double
You're kidding.
homicide. For example, we have a double homicide case that is probably going to have to be tried either this fall or next year. That's going to be very expensive. We have 2 attempted murder cases that are very likely to need to be tried either later this fall or next year. We have other newer cases that I'm sure you've heard about.
Yeah.
Might be needing to be tried, or maybe probably next year. So if 2 or 3 of those would fall in the same year, it really balloons.
Could get funds.
Yeah.
Could get
If they
crazy.
don't, we'd be good.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have money left in your budget.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the reason for that. Just looking at that, it's like those are kind of getting stacked up as far as.
Okay.
If you have someone looking at double homicide, that's not likely to get played out because they're gonna get a lot of time.
Mhm.
If they're guilty. They're presumed innocent.
Are you having problems finding pauper attorneys?
Yes. Yeah. It's more and more of an issue. And similar to what I was saying earlier as far as the way it was with the staff for a while, it's like, we'll get someone, get them in, get them trained, 6 months later, they're telling us they're leaving. And you just had that recently. They go somewhere else and get another opportunity, and you have this.
It's easier to do estates than it is criminal law.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's easier to do almost anything.
Yeah.
So it's harder and harder.
And get paid just as much.
Right.
Or
So
more.
that's always a challenge. I remember when I came out, I would come in, go county to county, and beg judges to get to do this on one of these pauper contracts. And now it's reversed. Now, as judges, we're having to go out and recruit people and beg them to come and take these contracts. It's really flopped over a 15-year period.
Hubie, I've got a question, a little off topic,
Yeah.
but I know it affects things, it trickles down. Why are there so many continuances in our courts?
That's really a good question because it flows back to the earlier question. There are so few attorneys out in our regions nowadays that the ones that are practicing are twice as busy. So I'll give you an example, like Jeff Wesson or Paul Baird, they're coming from Rush County over here, but they're also now going out into wider areas because those areas also are devoid of attorneys maybe handling family law. So I think one of those guys told me recently, like a 5-county area, there's maybe 6 attorneys that are doing family law, where 5 years ago there were 15. So as it dwindles, those guys become so busy, they get a lot of overlapping cases.
So I was talking to probation and they were just telling me that they get so many continuances and then people sit over there in the jail. I was trying to get to the root of the problem.
Yeah, that's what it is they're taking cases in more counties and then they get judges who Maybe judges in another county aren't as likely to grant continuance, because maybe they don't struggle to get the public defenders like we are, for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
With us, we have to work with those public defenders in their schedules, or they'll just say, we're out of here, we're not gonna deal with you.
Gotcha.
We're already driving a good distance to come to your county, so, yeah. It
Okay.
comes back to that same thing, that we just need more attorneys
Okay.
in our area. It's a good question.
Because, you know, it just has a trickle effect,
It does.
you know.
Yeah.
Then they're staying in the jail longer and
Right.
they're, you know, in probation and,
Back when I first came out, if,
excuse me.
like I said, I was so happy when Judge Flum gave me a contract. And if I would file multiple continuance, Judge Flum would not allow it, and he would be firing me. You know what I mean? But he would have someone else standing in line to come in and take my place.
Yeah.
If I fire a public defender, we're scrambling. You know, we're going to Shelbyville or Greensburg to try to talk people into driving an hour to come over.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Brenstetter? You did well.
Thank you. I guess adjourn until next year, and good luck with the rest of it. I do appreciate
Thank
the
you.
time and effort you guys put in. I know it's
Thank you.
becoming increasingly difficult for you guys as well. So thanks for all you do, and thanks for your consideration of the budget.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. If you see Jeff out there, you can send him in.
Sure.
Thanks.
He is probably, I don't know if he'll be there or not.
He's, I saw him.
Did he come in?
He peeked his head in twice.
We got time now.
He just started on Friday, so he's been.
What page is this on? Just
Yeah.
FYI. I didn't know if you guys viewed it.
52.
What page? 52.
Yeah, for sure. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, there he is. The Mad Hour.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going. It's going.
911 on. What page is 911 on?
Oh, thank you very much.
Jeff, you're on page, not, I started saying 911. Page 54,
Okay.
And that book beside you on the left?
Okay, yes.
budget book.
Because it's been 1993 since
Yeah.
I've been to one of these.
That's a long time.
Now, you didn't have to say that.
Well, thank you.
I'm sorry, what page was it?
54,
54.
54 and 55.
54 and 55.
Is this the first time you've seen the book? The
Yes.
numbers? Okay.
Well, I was given a copy of the proposed budget that was submitted,
Okay.
and I've had a chance to review that somewhat. I have several questions about it, not necessarily from you, but from whoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay.
We just start on that page in the book,
Yep.
and we just go down line by line.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that I'm explaining what these are. Okay.
Any increases or things like that?
I'm sorry?
Any increases or things like that?
Okay. Well, first of all, for as far as my payroll, I was interested in reducing that, if at all possible.
Pardon me, my hearing is not working quite right.
Yeah, I said reducing.
Well,
He said reducing?
I did,
I
yes.
like that, I like
Okay,
that.
because, well, first of all, let me explain my situation. I'll be 65 years old in January. I'm already currently drawing my Social Security. So what I was thinking is to bring that down to about 40, and spread, if we can, spread that 10 out to the full-time dispatchers equally. And I realize that may cause problems moving forward, but spread that out between the full-time dispatchers and any excess evenly, and then any excess could go to the overtime line item. Now, these things I'm suggesting, if it's not possible, just tell me, okay? Because I don't know. Again, I haven't been involved in these in a long, long time.
Anything's possible.
But I
Okay.
think this is something too now, with decreasing your salary like that, we need to make sure that something is written up that this is a temporary, because this is not something you're wanting to keep, right? To my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct. That is correct, but I've had, well, first of all, my wife would never allow it, I don't think, but I've had several people reach out to me to consider maybe farther than we had discussed. The original discussions were approximately 6 months.
Right.
So that way we can, in my terminology, right the ship, get things going,
Right.
hopefully the way they should be.
Right.
And then about 3 months in to 4 months in, start looking for a new full-time director.
Right.
That's,
That was my understanding.
yes, and that's the plan. So,
Yeah.
so as of right now, I've committed to 6 months.
Okay.
Um,
And the only reason I say that is because of someone else coming in. This would need to be,
Go.
I feel like legally written up some way that we will allow in the budget, but yet kind of just covering us to where the next person comes in. You're very generous by decreasing your budget, but that next person may not.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
and to be honest, you're gonna find a hard time, getting a full-time director for probably even 50,000.
Yeah.
Based on the directors that are in the area and the directors that I know and those
Right.
kind of things. So,
Right.
so yes, but again, my situation is unique. I'm already drawing Social Security, so that will help with my deferments on the Social
It
Security.
will offset us right now because she's over on her spending anyway as far as part-time, so.
Yes.
Yes, so I
Yes.
get that. I
So,
get it.
and again, if it's not possible, that's fine, but I wanted to throw that out there, because I'm willing to do that,
Right,
and obviously it's gonna help out my operators.
I believe she actually makes more than the 50 because she's got a couple stipends in her other part.
well, and I get all that, but I think with Jeff, and like I said, I think it's a very generous offer. We just need to, I feel like,
That might be like at the September 1st, just
Yeah.
versus instead of next year's budget, like a different
Right.
conversation.
right,
Yeah.
right. And I think that's something that, I think it's wonderful that you want to do that.
What?
And I think you're gonna do a great job, Jeff, I'm just saying.
Okay. What stipends did you see,
I was
Jay?
thinking that I can't remember off the top of my head without my other book.
Well, because I know there's IDAX coordinator.
That's one of them, okay,
Which
that's-
by
that's-
being the director, I have to be the coordinator.
Right.
Then I'll have
That's-
2 other operators that will be assistant IDAX coordinators.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. We need to account for those other
Okay.
stipends.
Okay, but those, because I actually talked to the IDAX
Yeah, it's 4,800 that I
Zoom
guess.
guru in the state yesterday, and because to be honest with you, I didn't want to go back through IDAX training and get that and do that, but he says in order for us to have IDAX, I have to do it. So I will be working on that.
And you get your first supervisor, second supervisor. I'm just saying, those are other parts of the pay that we have to consider if they're in there, but doesn't look like it's in there.
So, so the supervisors and the trainers are not in my pay, are they? They're in their individual pay. Because the way I understand it, and again, I'm going on a lot of what I'm being told. Right now we have 2 supervisors, designated as supervisors. And I was told that there was 3 in the budget and 3 trainers, which I see here on the proposed, I saw, right here. I have a first shift supervisor, second shift supervisor, IDAX coordinator, and the assistant, and then I have trainers times 3. And I'm looking at the proposed budget at the first thing there, personal services. So,
So my question would be, which of those stipends would be attached to dispatcher 2, 3, 4, and 5?
well, all of them except the IDAX coordinator. Because I personally have to, I have to be the IDAX coordinator as being, as me being designated the director.
Right.
So going in right now, what are you going to need to do as far as people to maintain 911? What are we looking at?
Well, first of all, I had a team meeting with everybody yesterday that went very, very well. I actually had a dispatcher come in this morning, and she told me that she went home and told her husband that she felt like a burden had been lifted off her shoulders. So that was good. We had a very good meeting. It was wide open. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about the SOPs, the county handbook, all of the things that were not prevalent. So, Sharon, to be honest with you, I can't really answer that. Because I'm just in, see, Friday was my first day in there.
Right.
But I think we've got, we're not gonna, my ship's not, I'm Navy, so my ship's not gonna tilt over any farther. Okay, I think I've got it stopped there, and hopefully we're starting to move back up.
Okay.
My part-time people, I feel really good about them. The one girl that just came back, she had gone to another dispatch center, I believe it was Union County, and has come back, and she's stepping up and working a whole lot of time for me. We had a big discussion about overtime, and we have implemented a overtime authorization form that's in the county handbook that is now being done. So
good.
We've also I've implemented a temporary sign-in form, I guess we'll call it, or process, so that we can track who's there when they're there. Then in September 1st, we're going to start doing that in the Flex software, the Spillman software, so that they're going to log themselves on duty and off duty, just like the deputies and just like the CPD officers do.
Time clock, that's how it should be.
Yes, and then, and obviously that, every month, every payroll, I'll run that from that report from that and submit that right with our payrolls too. So we won't, there's going to be a check and balance.
So have you already hired the part-times? Has the commissioners already done that?
They have, yes, we have, we actually had 2 start yesterday, and I've got the 3rd one that they authorized starting on, I think she's coming in Saturday with Sam, or Sunday with Sam. So those 3 have been hired, and they were already hired before, Kelly had already hired them. The 2 that Sam worked with yesterday, I think are going to work out fine, and then the 3rd one that's coming in on Sunday, I don't know anything about yet.
Now, she had already spent $26,400 on part-time, and she was requesting a $20,000 appropriation. And do you know that in the 1222, there is $62,000 that you can offset the pay of those part-time employees?
I think that's right.
Overtime, I'm sorry, overtime, that's overtime.
Okay, I'm sorry. So that means what?
So that means that you won't have to take out of your budget if you have overtime, or can
Your overtime is running really, really low,
yes.
almost
Right.
to the red. So, but there's $62,000 in the part-time from, it was 1222, right? But there's-
1222.
That's in there that could help offset some of that, so all you have to do is a transfer,
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
So-
yeah,
which we
so,
can get together on that.
so we are,
Yeah.
obviously, we are going to have overtime.
Yeah.
I have looked at the schedule, I have them looking at the schedule, because obviously they're the ones that are in the seats. Sam Caldwell, she primarily does the schedule and has been doing the schedule. We have sat down and discussed options that are there. And the thing of it is, it's not really, I don't see it like a sick time issue, people calling in sick or calling off work. And again, I haven't had a chance to review a lot of that stuff in its entirety, but on a flash look at it, I don't think it's a call-in or a sickness problem. It's just a problem.
Well, there's some additional money there, is the only reason I was telling you that, because Jane and I talked about it in Haley.
Okay.
And that will help offset some of that we won't have to, like, do out of general fund. Yes.
Okay. So
Just get with Jane and
Okay.
it's your line item 1222.
Okay.
And it's, I already put my paper up.
Okay, yes, I have that right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trying to keep your costs out of the general fund and keep it into your designated.
My budget. Yes. Okay. So still, if that's feasible, and I'll sign whatever paperwork I need to do, I would like to bring my salary down by at least that 10,000.
Okay, and you're wanting yours to go to 40?
If this is correct here, it's 50,144.
Right.
Yes, I'd like to bring that down to 40,000, and I'd like to, if it's possible, I'd like to divide that 10,000 among the full-time operators and put any additional in the overtime budget.
That's what we'll have to check on, because if we increase it by that and then someone else comes in 6 months, where would that money come from?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So that's
It becomes
something.
a permanent thing when you go to the salaries.
Okay, yeah, so yeah.
We
So you
couldn't
really wanna-
give it to them and then take it away.
And you don't really want to lower your budget amount for your director because you're planning on 6 months, right?
Yes.
So you really want to keep that around 50.
Yeah.
So whoever the new hire is, they would make that 50,000.
But I get it because of your
But you could
social
do the
security,
40.
you can't.
Perhaps,
Yeah.
perhaps maybe what the commissioners ought to consider is, since you're interim anyway, is like a separate contract with you at a lower rate.
Okay.
That would be, I don't know
That's
if
what
it's
I was
possible to be.
saying. Yeah, the legalities of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
that would,
Maybe, yeah. I'll make it
yeah.
Yeah.
See if, and maybe that can still be done
Yeah,
and keep this at the same
and keep that at the
rate.
same
I
amount.
mean, that would be my fear, is that we would lower it and then,
Right.
you know,
Well.
how are we gonna get it back?
I agree, and again, I want to stress that I think you're gonna have a hard time finding a director, full-time director, for even at 50,
I understand.
so, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, that Jeff and Jane, that needs to be like a contractual
Okay,
type thing for
Okay.
you.
okay,
And then that way that line item can, yeah, I get it though,
So, you know, it's,
that'll
the
work.
pay, yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate your heart, we gotta try to keep things legal.
Well, yeah, I totally understand that, and again, Bob, it's been a long time since I have done any of this, since I was back in jail, and I think
do
it's
appreciate
93
your
when I looked
gesture.
it up, so.
Like if you
Good to
look
have
at
you
the
back.
adopted
Yeah.
budget for-
Yeah.
I'll get back with you in 3 months.
So we had to take,
I feel it.
like what was paid, there were no salaries, so we had to take what was actually being paid out this year, we had to put those numbers in, it's not actually the case.
Okay.
Even though it looks like it through these screens.
Yeah, because I don't have that on
Yep.
here.
But what I was telling Sharon, if you guys look at the salaries for the dispatchers, it looks like they're requesting a $5,000 raise. That is not actually, when their original budget was submitted, there weren't any salaries listed on there. And so typically, if you don't submit a budget, then you just have to use last year's numbers. Well, then last year, you guys gave them a raise of $5,000. So what me and Jay did was just use what their current salaries were, and that's what's in the requested budget line.
It's not actually
So it's not
them
a
requesting a raise.
So it's just
The
a
way
rate
it looks
pay.
like.
Right. That's just that $5,000 from the safety
From-
tax.
From public safety, but we just
Yeah.
put, it was put all on here just
Okay,
for this,
Okay.
you guys can
yeah.
deal with that part later, but
Yeah.
for this purpose, that was
Right.
just what they're currently being paid, is what's in the request.
And actually, they're part-time, and we appropriated 65,000, but it's only, this year, they're only requesting 50.
Well, again, there wasn't a request for any
Okay,
amount in there, so that was just what was put in there based on how it was
calculated.
Jane's decision, kind
Yeah,
of. She,
yeah.
whatever she did with the calculator, that's the
Yeah,
number she
yeah.
said needed to go
The
there.
calculations,
Yeah.
okay.
There's overtime and holiday pay in account 4912, Sharon. In the next page. They got the overtime.
Page 55, Jeff, in that budget book.
Okay,
On Fund 4912, overtime and holiday pays, she has 10,000.
Okay, I see it, yeah.
yeah.
But actually, that's what that 1222 item line would cover for the overtime, the 62,000. So that's probably why there was no request for it. Right?
The 62,000 in the part-time line for
But
this year.
But it can be used, I was
They
thinking.
can do a transfer.
Yeah, they can do a
She
transfer,
can do a
that's what I'm
transfer to
saying,
cover
yeah.
what we're gonna be in the red this year.
Yeah.
Because we'll be,
Yeah.
we'll have to do that
Because
before this payroll.
It's going to go into the red.
Okay,
So that's what she was saying, you'll just have to put in a request to transfer some of that money into your overtime and part-time.
okay.
We can, whenever you come to turn in payroll, just get with me on that, because we'll have to do the transfer before we process payroll,
Okay,
but that way you'll at least, if you have your voucher, you'll know how much you need,
okay,
at least for this payroll,
Okay.
but we can talk about that.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure that additional part-times will help with that though, right?
Oh, yes.
In the future.
Yes, and we also discussed, at our meeting yesterday, we discussed a little bit of the scheduling of the full-timers, and we're gonna look at all that. Because by the SOP, or by the county handbook, they have certain schedules, shift schedules, and apparently they've tried to help that by changing those, and they did 12s over some of the summer, so yes, we're looking at that.
Okay. Okay. On the IDEX coordinator.
Jeff, we're having a hard time finding something to put you in prison over.
I have worked in the jail for many years, and my job with Motorola, I was in many jails, so I don't want to be there.
I bet you don't either.
So Jeff, do you foresee any equipment they're gonna need?
I do not. It's my understanding, and again, I have to take it with a grain of salt. I'm being told that the radios are working fine. We got one issue with where the headset plugs in. I got to call into them to come look at that and get that fixed. But as far as replacement, no. I don't know for sure. I saw the maintenance cost of a few things in here. I don't know for sure what that maintenance costs, but I don't foresee any. Okay, based on what time I've had to look at things and talk to people.
Yeah.
So no, I don't know.
A couple years ago, Jeff, Kelly came in here and they was getting the system set up, which we approved it to get everything set up so that you communicate with police and fire department and everything.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
all running now, or?
Yes, sir. As far as I know, again,
There's a
there
new
are no-
system she's putting in, I think.
correct. The radios are fairly new. It's my understanding that they got consoles and radios just a few years ago.
Yes.
And I was on the EMA team for a while, and the radio that I had, based on that, the communications were great. We do have an issue that was brought to my attention that when both operators on 911 calls, for some reason it causes, we think that's it, causes a interference or static in the Connersville, Everton Fire Department and EMS channels. So the guy's supposed to be coming down to look at that terminal, so I'm going to ask him about that.
Okay, thank you.
Something we also implemented is we are now going to start tracking those maintenance requests and maintenance problems in the Flex software. Because that way I can go, when I come in, I can go through that list, and if there's a problem with the console or anything, I'm going to be able to see that and it's there. So to be able to do that.
But there's one line item on page 56.
Well, here's where we're missing. Take the handcuffs off.
I think you did great for just having, this is your third day.
Yeah,
I think you did great.
yeah.
Well, if
And
obviously,
we wish you luck. You're gonna do good.
I'm here, I'm there. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I try to pride myself on being organized once I get things organized. And I document everything. And that's one of the things we had in our meeting yesterday, that if it's not documented, it didn't happen.
Okay, I do wanna say one thing, because I like your 911 shirt.
Yes,
Are you don't have anything in your line item for uniforms?
we do not.
This is me, and I think it's professional. I think they should be recognized either with a badge or a shirt or something that says 911.
Well, actually, I found these in a file cabinet in the office. There was-
So there's
there-
probably some already over there.
There was 2, and they happened to be extra large, so they fit. So there we go. Because I've been wearing a 911 dispatch trainee badge around.
Yeah.
So,
But lots of times you don't even know who the 911 people, there's no badge,
Correct.
there's no
well,
linear, there's
We-
nothing to,
the way that it's set up now, they have very limited interaction with the public on a day-to-day basis. And I know, and we talked about that yesterday in the meeting. I don't know, maybe some T-shirts or something like that. I mean, even at that, because I would like to try to bring back
professionalism.
some professional, well, and that's the other thing. I went in my first day and we took down a bunch of stuff that was in the dispatch room that was not professional. We had stuffed animals and we had owls and we had all kinds of stuff in there that is gone now. Little sarcastic signs and things, those are all gone, because it's going to be a professional.
Absolutely.
So yes, I would be all in favor of that. But as everybody knows, we are in a budget crunch. So I don't think it's a priority, but
No, it's not priority, but it is professional.
yes, it is. So when I get on my feet, then I may readdress that if that's okay.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
okay.
Any more questions for
Sounds like
anybody?
you'll be able to afford it if you're doing well.
Yes.
Yeah, but handing out a T-shirt sometimes is like getting a pizza party.
It is.
I mean, you'd rather have a better work environment.
Yes.
I think
than
it
to be
builds
handed a
morale.
T-shirt.
I
Well,
think
it does, but
Yeah.
but 8 hours or 12 hours of a better work environment is way better than a
Yeah.
T-shirt or a pizza party.
And just so you know, there is a policy by the 911 Advisory Board that says there has to be 2 qualified operators in the seats at all times. That is now mandatory. That was not previously. And I learned yesterday that one of our full-time operators worked a 24-hour shift in one day last month or in the last couple of months, which is unacceptable. We will probably, and again, I haven't had a chance to review the handbook or the SOP, but we're probably going to try to limit those shifts at 12 hours. Because a lot of times I can get part-time people to come in and fill that 12-hour break. So we're getting up right, so, but there are a lot of issues that we're dealing with. So hopefully it will change.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions? Is everybody done?
Good, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Don't forget to keep the weekly updates on, you know.
Yeah. I may have to change some of that though.
I'll be watching. They usually make me laugh.
It's good to
Thank you.
see you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
All right. I might ask too, I'm planning on doing at least monthly reporting and kind of give the commissioners an idea of what is going on in the dispatch center as far as calls and those kind of things. Would the council be interested in those as well?
Well, the commissioners are the executive body. I think that's the appropriate body for you to report to.
Okay?
I would like to see
I would
one.
like
You're
to see
welcome to
you.
give me one.
Okay, well, what I'll do is then I'll just email those out if it's okay?
Yep.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello.
I left them in a bad mood, Lisa. so-
I'm just
Thank
bringing
you.
you my, I do this every year, but some of you are new, so I thought it might be beneficial. Okay, and I have one for Tim, and you guys already stopped and picked yours up, so.
And you're on page 21 and 52 in the budget book.
What are those pages again, Sharon?
21 and 52.
Thank you, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And 33.
And 33. Okay.
21, 52, and 33, is that what you said?
Well, 52, 33.
All my measurements, don't it? 21, 52, 33.
Oh, mine is-
All right, Lisa.
Okay, well,
Go.
first, I just want to thank everyone that supported me last year in our journey to get deeds digitized. They actually came in a couple weeks ago and worked on that. And so that's well on its way. And I appreciate your help, and I know the people of Fayette County did. They said they had more people stop in to see the deeds being digitized than they've ever had in any other county, so.
They said what? I'm
That they
sorry.
had more people stop in to see the process than they had ever had in any other county. It's really cool, so. Thank you for that, and then.
How far back are you in time?
So, as of 2 weeks ago, everything was scanned. Now they're going through the cleanup phase on it. Everything as far as deeds. Now, like your mortgages aren't done. In-house, we have did all of the plats. We have did all of the military discharges, and we are working on the miscellaneous books.
Okay.
I mean, there's still quite a bit to be done.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like deeds, we had those done. We outsourced those just because it really should have been done a long time ago.
What year would you say you're in? Or do you know a year you're in?
They're all done.
Okay.
All of the deeds are done. I mean, and now we're just waiting on them to do the cleanup process and then get them back to us.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as miscellaneous,
So they're actually taking them out of the building?
no, they stayed in the building. They were all
Okay.
scanned inside the building.
Okay.
And then, they've been uploaded to a server. We did receive back our hard drive with like the untouched copies on them, but now they're cleaning them up. So, like if you were to stop down to my office and kind of see what we're doing, I'm using a lot of paper because I'm having to do a lot of cleanup. And I still can't get them to look like they did, but they're gonna look good. Like, there's stuff that, as much as I'm working on it, my girls are working on it, we still can't clean it up completely. There's gonna be areas where like the brightness or the contrast was too much or too little on the page, and we can only do so much with what we've got. But they had me, like, we have a $40,000 scanner, they have a $200,000+ scanner that they're cleaning up with, so. And if you had a chance to stop down there and see, the entire prosecutor's room was full of their machines that they were using to clean up, so.
Okay.
Yep. I did ask, as you saw in the budget, that myself and the first deputy be paid out of county general again this year. We just don't have the money to sustain paying 2 salaries with what we're doing down there. I checked yesterday, we had $92,666.33 in that account. We still have $49,907.12 due to US Imaging for our project.
Lisa, you might explain what's happening.
47
so
what?
they know.
I know.
What'd you say, 47 what?
$49,907.12.
It's on the front.
Yeah, I put it on your top copy.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
that you'd have it.
okay.
And then always keep in mind, we're not supposed to completely deplete that fund, just because if things were to go south, that office should be able to maintain itself, and essentially it does, because we pay for the computer programming and all of that out of the records perpetuation fund. So we don't ask for a lot out of county general. And we give a lot back to county general as well, and the surveyor's perpetuation, if you notice what I given in my report of collections. There's part of it that goes back. As of yesterday, the recorder's office had given this year $42,436.91 to the elected officials training, county general, and the surveyor's perpetuation fund.
Is this a required thing you're doing, Lisa?
Yes,
By who?
by the state, by statute.
It's all being sent to the state?
Preservation of records, everything in that office is permanent. So
And you're sending it on to the state?
there's a copy staying here, and then you're required to have 2 copies. Your copy stays here, and then we have it backed up.
Have you ever heard of the MERS system?
Bob, I'm just doing what the state tells me I have to do.
Well, it's a lesson to be learned because it's what I did for a living. And around 2000, they came up with the brilliant idea of doing away with abstracts. And I worked for Fannie Mae directly. In 2008, the market crashed. Well, what happened was they put everything on a computer. The way the banking system works, Bank A has $100 million and they want to sell $50 million worth of to get money in. So Bank B buys it. They got the abstracts on the computer. And then C and D. Well, 2008 hit, and all of a sudden, Bank B's out of business. And Fannie Mae said, we have a hard time selling these repos because we can't find the abstracts. They're gone. Nothing's perfect, what I'm trying to say. I appreciate what you're doing, I really do. But just understand, computers aren't the only answer. Keep the books.
We are keeping the books. We are keeping the books. The books aren't going anywhere, but we just have to stay up with the times. And more people are going online to get copies of documents, and them going online, it's actually a win for us if they get their documents online, because we're still making a buck off of them, and they're having to print on their own paper.
That can't be used by outside sources to get into our...
No.
Okay. Because there are crooks out there.
There are critics out there.
You can go ahead.
Okay. So we don't do a lot with postage, but every now and then we do. We typically request that if you want your document returned, you include a self-addressed stamped envelope, so that's why we've kept that low. And then travel and training and travel and mileage, I asked for those just because there are meetings that I would like to attend that allow me to get extra knowledge in what I'm doing. And I need to have something there to pay for it. That's it on my quarter budget. I mean, I know essentially that number might look big when you think $80,000 between two salaries, $100 postage, $500 in travel and training, and $250 in travel and mileage. But when you look at what we've given back, I don't think it's unreasonable.
Okay, questions on page 21? Okay, go ahead and go to page 52. Or we actually could have went to, it doesn't matter, 52 is fine.
Okay. So in 52, I just asked for the part-time clerical to be paid out of record perpetuation. We have two girls that are doing that. They work a combined total of 28 hours a week, and they're working solely on preservation, so they are not waiting on customers, answering phones or anything like that. Those are the people who are sitting in there and getting this information out so that the public is able to look it up on the computer.
So, all right, help me understand. The two girls, they're strictly working on preservation stuff, right? So how is, the digitization is preservation too, correct? So,
But that's only a part of it.
okay,
So like after those records are scanned in, they still have to be indexed, meaning you put in the name, the property information, basically the key pointers that people are going to search for when they're looking for documents. So the girls are scanning stuff in because like I said, we're working on miscellaneous books in-house.
okay.
But when like.
It's all part of the same project,
it
it's
is.
just
Yeah.
a separate version of it.
Yeah, so essentially like when US Imaging releases our documents to us that they've cleaned up and taken care of, then the girls will begin indexing those. So they're still doing part of the preservation process.
Got it.
So the 22,422 is two people.
It's two people, yeah. And they work a combined total of no more than 28 hours a week,
Combined.
combined.
The 22.
28. I believe Tess works, I think Cameron's working like 11, and then Tess is working the other, 17.
And it looks like you're asking for about a 5% increase for your first deputy, right?
I didn't ask for anything out of reporter's perpetuation.
No, I understand, yeah, I understand.
I
that.
did ask for a raise because I feel like they are working hard and they do deserve it. If they don't get it, we understand, but I did ask. It's my job to ask as their supervisor.
Gotcha.
How long do you, I don't think that all of the president will go on.
Well, I mean, so we, honestly, I'll tell you, we work on it every day. But it just depends. I mean, like, on the miscellaneous books, you may hit a book where it's great, you don't have to do a lot of cleanup, but then you may hit a book where you have to do a lot of cleanup. So it honestly just varies. I mean, ideally, I hope to have quite a bit of it done in the next year, and then I hope to get 4 more years and have quite a bit of it done. But there's still more that we're gonna have to see.
When she entered in, it was way behind.
Okay, you want to go to page 33.
Okay, so ID redaction, that is something that we actually pay into as well. That's nothing that's costing the county anything. If you look at the reported collections that I gave you, our fees actually pay into that, and this year we paid in $2,083 into it already. And I asked for 6,500, but we have money sitting in there. I'm not exactly sure how much is sitting there, but we do have money sitting in there, and those are fees that are as well generated from the recorder's office. So that's nothing that's coming from county general. And that just is, so by law, we're required to run documents during a certain time frame through, to make sure that there's no social security numbers or anything like that on them. Even though they're signing that there's nothing on there, by law, we're still required to run it through redaction just to make sure. And we run that every night. I would be happy if you want to stop it and I can show you what we do. There's a thing that we run and it picks up anything. Military discharges were a really big thing because the social security number is always on a military discharge. So every one of those that we did last year, we had to run through. But on occasion, we do have people who will attach a death certificate or, you know, something where they just write their social security number on it and we have to run it through.
So I guess I would just be asking, because in 2024 it was 3,000, 2025 thus far you've only expended $1,175. So what would be the reason for 6,500?
Because you're getting ready to run all those documents that we're digitizing through.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's kind of finishing off the year?
Kind of like hoping to get all that through that.
Okay.
And we're always growing from that as well. If you look back on the recorder's fee page that I give all of you, it's after that contract, kind of gives you an idea. Like on every mortgage that we record, $1 of that goes into ID protection. All deeds, $1 goes into ID protection. So it's paying in, essentially the recorder's office is paying for that. Does that make sense?
You're making us some money.
Yeah.
Very detailed report, Lisa.
And ideally, what you would want to do is use that records perpetuation fund to get all of these records preserved and digitized. And then after the fact, and we've kind of talked about this in the past, then the office would be able to totally sustain itself with salaries. If you allow it to be used for what it was supposed to be used for, get all of that done, then you're going to be able to pay your recorder, your first deputy, your part-time, your computer system, all of that out of that at some point in time. And there are counties that are doing that, but the counties that are doing that, as you've heard, if you were here in the past, are counties that have got all their digitizing done.
Just curious, why do they make you pay into the surveyor's perpetuation fund? I'm taking that as a state code. But
It is a state code. The surveyor, I don't know all the details about that, but it's something about the corners, and so the surveyor uses the money in that to make sure that the corners are correct, I believe. You'd have to ask Bill.
Yeah.
But because essentially our office is working with land,
Yeah.
so they want to make sure that's correct. So I think that it's kind of just a help
I'm
for
just
them.
kind of curious about
Yeah.
it.
And we also pay quite a bit into the elected officials training. We're the only office that pays into that. And other offices get to use it, but we are the office that is paying into that for trainings.
Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
How much?
Alrighty.
Anybody have any more questions for Lisa?
Thanks for the report.
You're very welcome.
Yes, you did. You presented well.
I tried to make sure it made sense, just because we had new people coming in, and I wanted to make sure that you kind of had an understanding. Because I think that that's probably been a problem in the past, is that the recorder's perpetuation fund wasn't understood for what it really was supposed to be used for. So.
I had to look it up a few times.
Yeah, we've had a few talks, so that's okay. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Take a 5-minute break.
Tim's on his way.
Tim?
Tim's on his way.
Okay. Hi. He's just taking a couple minutes break. Okay, 11:20.
I'm walking.
You can have a seat. In that budget book, you're on page 17.
The fair was great.
Thank you. Thank you. We had a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
I know.
A good time.
And it was hot,
It was.
terribly hot.
I feel like this year I hit my groove and there was, I mean, there's always a little bit of fair drama, but no, struck by lightning, no shutting down shows for storms, no
Yeah.
tornado warnings. This year was
Yeah.
way easier. So.
City clerk, that one has as well. There's 3 of them total on the whole gamut. Clerk, surveyor, and registration. Savings account. Yeah. Basically.
That's good. That's that good.
Right.
It'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
I don't know about y'all, but I've been sitting for this long to grab me notes.
Yeah. Stand up for a second.
Okay, you can go ahead and get started if you want to. Everybody's back in here.
Sorry about that, Stephanie, thank you.
Well, this is my first budget hearing, so I'm not really super sure of the process, but our budget is really almost identical to last year, with the exception of a little bit more for our county contract to reflect our 3% increase, and then $500 additional for mileage. So the rest of the numbers are all the same.
Did you ever replace Heather?
So Heather, yes, we have a
I thought you had one of them, she left or something?
That was our office manager, and we have interviews scheduled for next week for that position as well. So that's kind of been a difficult position to fill, just because it doesn't pay as much as what people are either wanting or needing. So.
Yeah. So I haven't been getting any emails from like I used to from Heather.
For
The 4-H meetings.
I can make sure that you are added to the list for that. Are you on the council meetings? Okay. I'll make sure that you're added to that list.
Okay.
Now, with the changes produced, sitting down, is there any changes that we should expect, or if they give you guys any direction yet?
We still have very minimal direction. We do know that there is going to be no changes here in Fayette County until at least 2027.
Okay.
So we are all business as usual through the end of 2026, and then we'll see what happens from there. So if you don't know, Purdue Extension is going through a little bit of a reorganization and restructuring. There are some counties, mostly in the northern area, who are seeing they're doing a pod sort of thing, so maybe 3 or 4 counties that are put together, and every county gets a 4-H educator, but the other positions are shared. But they're trying that out to see how it works, and then they're gonna decide at the end of 2026 if that's something that they will move into the counties in 2027. There's a lot of implications on a lot of levels for that, so for Fayette County, we are saying exactly the same after the end of 2026.
Is that where Becky's gonna have to do?
Becky's position was a federally funded position, so she, unfortunately, she is,
Gotcha.
yeah, we would love to find a way to keep her. I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, that's bad, sad.
On a couple of the computer lease in 2024, you only expended $354. In 2025, you haven't expended anything, but there's a $1,600 computer lease. So you're not leasing?
We are leasing.
It just not come due yet?
Well, it's so our computers are rotated through on a 3-year cycle, and every 3 years we are supposed to get our leases up. So I'm wondering if Purdue didn't cover that. I can look into that number and see what happened there. But I have a new computer that came in 2025 or in 2024. It came in November of last year.
Okay, and your copier maintenance contract, in 2024, you spent $2268, and then in 25 thus far, you've only expended $725, but you have $2,500. Okay.
Well, most of our copier expenses come in July and August when we're preparing for fair, so I would expect to see that
Okay.
go significantly over the next couple months.
So in repair of equipment, if you're under contract and you're leasing, what equipment would you need to have repaired?
That is just to cover anything in the copier contract that's not covered. I don't know that we've ever had an expense in that, but it's always kind of scary when the repair guy comes in and tells you something.
Yeah.
He's been in twice this year because our copier has been, it's been all right, but it had like a weird noise that he came in and fixed, and then the motherboard went down, so we had to come in and repair the motherboard a few weeks ago.
Okay.
What kind of travel and training?
Yeah, so we are, with our extension appointments, we do a lot of time on campus with like 4-H update, A&R update, HHS update. So we go there for 2 or 3 days for different meetings during the year. There's also in December, our professional development that we're required to be on campus. And then we also do some area events with our local counties for FFA and 4-H in terms of soils contest, livestock contest, forestry contest. So that's the training and mileage that we have there. It's a little bit more because we did add the second educator, and costs in general for mileage has gone up.
Does anybody have any more questions?
I think you're the only one that didn't increase on postage.
Well, I wondered about that, but I think we do a lot of communication with our families through email and Facebook, and sometimes I'm not super sure what our bang for our buck is on postage, so.
Right.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Could that affect the copier and all that too? Would be doing the social media and more email?
I think it could impact the copier, but I do know that last year, it felt like at the end of the year, we were cutting it super close. it with, like, with the change of Heather always managed that super closely, and so, like, I'm still kind of in that first year of figuring my way through, what our expenses are and what we need, and go from there.
Any more questions?
Thank you very much.
All righty, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And good luck with all that.
It'll be fine. I'm not concerned about it because I think we served nearly 400 4-Hers this year, and our accomplishments in the county have been good, so not super
Good.
worried about what that trickles down to.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Betty,
Hey, I came a little early.
you're fine. We're ready for
I
you.
thought maybe you guys would like to, I might be the last one before lunch.
You are.
We hope you bring lunch, come on.
No, we were just figuring out what we were gonna send Colin out for. He's on his way, I think.
Betty, on the budget book, you're on page 20 and 40. And I don't know where the IBD page was. Is it page 1? Okay, so, yes, we can start with page 1, yes.
Betty's on page 1?
Yep.
I'm everywhere. Right? I'm scattered throughout. Big changes this year.
What's IVD stand for?
40. It is a title in federal law that, so Title 4D helps fund the collection of child support by prosecutors throughout the nation. It's sort of like a Medicaid program in that it's given to the states, and there are incentive funds that we receive based on how well we perform in collecting support. So everything that you see in the 4D budget is reimbursed, I want to say 60%. I don't remember what the, whatever we spend, for every dollar we spend toward support, an amount is reimbursed. And then there's also, it is highly complicated. The math, it's kind of like some kind of fantasy government math and how it all works, which is why I think probably all counties have a consultant that helps us to stay in line with federal, getting these federal funds. But the money comes back to us, and part of it goes into county general, and part of it goes into a fund that only the clerk and the prosecutor can get to, and I think maybe even there's another one that only the prosecutor can get to. So there are all these pools of money out there. When you look at our budget, the 4D, basically we try to spend every dollar through 4D that we can because we get money back. But that's, obviously when we're handling a theft case, that money can't be used in that. So it's a very strange fund, but it's very beneficial. It helps to drive the gears in my office. This year, as you all know, we lost a lot of grant money. So next year we won't be getting, my office won't be getting a felony diversion grant, which funded something like $46,000 or $47,000 of the deputy's salary. And because we had that felony diversion grant, we were able to contract out the child support collection cases with an attorney who was on our budget this year, as it would have been in this fund, and it was listed as the part-time there. Was $19,750 every year. Because we've lost that grant, we are having to pull that back into the deputy salary to help fund Colin. So we're giving up that part-time person, and Colin will now be the child support deputy as well. We've also increased that top line for the prosecutor attorney. So the part-time person was here on Thursdays and handled all of the hearings and worked with the ladies closely that day of answering questions and whatever. But then when something happens that's not on a Thursday, or when we have questions, that's when Colin would be the one to be answering those questions. Now that he's that completely, we took that from 10,750 to 35, because that's the amount that we felt we could budget. And I know you guys like to look at these separately, but it's so hard because many of our, see, am I on page 9 then? No. 20. It's so hard because many of our people are employees of both sides. We, like our receptionist, some of her pay comes from the 40 side, some of it comes from the county side. Because she's not just receiving visitors and calls from one side or the other. So if we look at page 9, you'll see that the second deputy, I took from 37.5 to 60. Basically, I tried to figure out how much I felt like of the loss of those funds by pulling back the contract work that we could justify into 4D, and I tried to get that to the point we can't get in trouble with our reimbursement claims. We have to stay in line federally with that. So I know that when we met earlier that this is not, you guys were not hoping to see something like this, but our caseload, we have to maintain that third attorney spot. The chief deputy and the prosecutor are paid by the state. There's no more, there was some discussion at the legislature's level of having a reimbursement scheme, but that didn't get through. All they did was form a committee so that they can yell at us if we don't do things the way that they want us to do, but without any money behind it. They cut that part out, so that leaves the counties on their own of dealing with what we need for the caseload. We file, I think in all the years that I've been doing this, I think that our numbers have been between 850 and 1,200 cases a year, depending on the year. And that does not include the 400 juvenile cases or so, the infractions, which I don't even know that I could tell you how many infractions we file, or the probably 1,200 child support files that we handle, 1,200 different people that we are trying to collect support from. I do not think it's possible to do this with just 2 attorneys. And we've been very lucky. The history of this deputy's salary, I actually remember that before, this is going way back, before I ran, well, when I was a fairly new attorney, which would be late 90s, the stop grant became available. And a lady worked very hard out of victims assistance. I don't remember her name, was Galloway or Gallimore, Myra, worked very hard to get this money. And coincidentally, it was actually earmarked to hire me into the prosecutor's office. But then there was a change of administration and that didn't happen, but we got the stop grant, and we've had that stop grant in some amount of money. Is that in here too? Probably not.
The
Because it's
diversion?
not no, it's stop grant. It's not my money to, so there's an amount that pays Colin, currently, the third attorney, from a stop grant. That, as far as we know, is still in place. It has changed in amounts over the years, but that's how the third position in the prosecutor's office was formed by, that's my memory of it. In the late 90s, we got a third position. And that has, as that has changed and other grants have become available, we've certainly gone after those. And, you know, we rode that felony diversion grant for as long as we could. The stop grant has kind of dwindled over the time. And now we're in this position. So it's not, we are using all the grants that we can, and we'll go after all the grants that become available. But right now, as probably you all know more than me, that's very limited. Far more limited than it used to be. I think as a county, we lost millions of dollars in grants, and that's happening everywhere. So this isn't something that, having a third attorney in the office is not a luxury. It's a necessity.
So on the second deputy, does any of the 4D money come into him?
Yes, that's on the first page. We took out that part-time and moved it up into his, so we're losing a person.
Okay, so the 12,250, is that the part-time you're talking about?
No, that's actually invested. That is. That's what's been expended this. If you skip to the next column, you'll see the year amount. By the end of the year, of course, I've had to tell her that she's being let go and she's looking for a job. If she gets a job, certainly not all of that 19,750 will be expended this year. But, because whatever, I'll work around whatever a new job for her needs of her time. But 19,750, we added with the 10,750 from the top line. And then I increased it by, what, 5 or something? Because I felt like that's what we could justify in the 4D line for reimbursement to still be in compliance.
Do you have all your people on this page that you want?
All of the people, all of my people are on 2 pages.
Right, I'm just saying, you've not already cut anybody out on your paperwork?
No, Laura's got on the paperwork. On my proposal for this year, we knew that that was cut, and I removed Laura. Yes.
So you're adding the 30,500, and what was the other line you said?
The 60,000 for the second deputy.
The second, I lost my page.
Okay.
There we go, 20. So
10,750, 19,750, and then there was one more you said.
okay, so I eliminated the 19 on 4D. I eliminated 19,750.
Yes.
I pulled that into the line of 40 prosecutor attorney of 10,750, and that admittedly does not add up to the 35 that I. So the increase on the 4D side is 4,500. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
On the 4D side, that's the increase there, because I feel like that's all that I can justify at this time in reimbursement issues. So even though the 10,750 goes to 35, overall budget, it's only a $4,500
It's a $4,500
increase. However, on the prosecutor budget on page 20, his amount was 37.5, because from another fund he got in the mid-40s. And so I went from 37.5 to 60. Tried to kind of split it between the two and as much as possible on 40.
You said that's on page.
That's on 20, it's the top line.
That's 60,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, to keep your third attorney, you need about $28,000 more this year than last year between the two funds. Is that right?
We lost 45 or 46.
But to keep Colin, you need additional 28.
So then I pulled the 20 in from the part-time, yeah.
Okay.
So Colin is listed as the second deputy on one page and then 35,000 on another page.
Yeah, he's 4D prosecutor attorney, 4D prosecutor and second deputy.
Okay.
And then there's also still some stop grant money that he gets that does not appear on any of these because I don't handle that budget.
I just looked on the funds. It looks like there's about 8,000 left in it, in that stock grant fund.
Does it say how much it started at?
Where's that stock grant? Fund amount?
The fund number.
Do you know the fund number, Betty? By any chance? She was just going, oh, I found it right here. It's 4981. Stop grant match.
That's not,
Was that the same way?
that's not the stop grant. I don't think it's in here.
Okay.
It won't be in the book, but do you know the fund? Not, because I might be able to look it up if you know the fund number off the top of your head. If not,
I can go get it, it's on his,
Is it 8108? I mean 8101?
I can tell you, I don't do this stuff as fast as Jane.
let me see if I can find,
Would you just want to know the amount, Kay?
Yeah, she was, yeah, okay. It looks like in 8101 has about $9,800. If it's 8101.
was that the beginning of the year amount? Is that the budgeted amount? or the-
Beginning of the year, it was in the negative.
Well, you know, it comes like, that grant comes in cycles, so you can't go by the balance on that. I can go get that real quick.
You don't have to.
When we do his pay, it included, his claim for pay was stop grant, diversion grant, and then both sides of the office, and he got from, I think, 4, would that be right, 4 sources?
It's been that way for a long time for that third position, correct?
It has, because we've been
Piecemeal
fortunate to have, it's all kind of piecemeal together. A lot of the staff in my office gets paid from, there's only one person who doesn't get paid from 4D at all, that we can't justify any time. So we make use of that as best we can.
Colin does a good job.
Yes, we are very fortunate that Colin
Yeah, good kid.
is staying here as a community, in my opinion. Because I guess you guys have probably heard by now, I'm not running again. I'm going to finally go live with my husband. So,
If it is 8101, there's nothing left.
There's $2,932 left in that.
like I said, it cycles. It doesn't come all at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year.
It looks like it's up and
It's
down.
very confusing, yeah, but I don't know how much of that in all he gets. I can find that, I can go get that for you, I mean, I'm only right across the hall if you wanna know it.
No, it's only that. We know it's piecemeal together.
Yeah. And frankly, if we don't keep that salary competitive, then when I leave, it's gonna be hard to attract somebody to come do the work. I mean,
I just don't like all these changes.
I,
We got so
you know,
much
the
going
grant,
on.
we have ridden that grant gravy train as
Yeah.
long as we can, and we have to adapt, and
Yeah.
I know,
It's hard.
is this a recorded session?
Yes, on TV.
Is it on TV?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I put lipstick on for you, so. You know, we've done all we can. You guys know I was here at the meeting that you called, the department heads, and I participated and I've
Yeah.
racked my brain about this, and it wasn't long after that I was working on my budget and we got this email, and everybody has, our part-time person did the child support here and in Rush County. Same way, part-time person. They've had to let it go too. And they're having to do the same thing for their third person. And you know, we have 2 courts, and it's easy for somebody to say, 2 courts, all you need is 2 prosecutors. But that's just not true in the number of cases that we have. If you look at the weighted caseloads, I think you'd find that our courts are weighted at more than 1. Rushville has 3 attorneys. Never less than 3 attorneys. Rushville's definitely smaller than us. The only place I know of that can handle everything with just the 2 attorneys provided by the state is Union County. And with these changes, I hear a lot of grumbling over there with the idea that Union County may be bankrupt before anyone, you know, just because there's fewer people there. They may not need 2 attorneys, but they have them because the state provides them.
Well, if the state would take on what they should, the state should be paying for the courts because they're technically.
I understand. And they pay for the judges and they pay for the prosecutors. But they should also, and that bill that was modified into, I don't, you know, sometimes bills get modified into places where, why are you even passing? What's that really even for? And they have created this committee because they feel like there are attorneys, prosecuting attorneys in the state who are not prosecuting certain kinds of cases. Now, I'll tell you that I think that there are only 2 kinds of cases that could fall into that category that I've been able to think of. One of them is marijuana, because there are places in the state that just ticket for marijuana, or, you know, the type's changing on marijuana, and it has been for years. The other is, would revolve around the state's new laws on abortion. And we don't have a place that does abortions here. I'm never going to be making that decision. But if they could find a pattern of refusing to do any of that, then they have this committee that could declare me I don't even remember the name anymore because there's no money attached to it. Why would I? Non-compliant prosecutor. And then the idea was that this money that they were giving to the deputy position outside of the reimbursement option, if I was declared a non-compliant prosecutor, they could withhold that money. So that was the carrot and the stick. We want you to apply all the laws. So, and then they would actually take that over. So then our esteemed Attorney General would take over how we prosecute cases in this community, which is not the way that the electoral process is set up. This community elects one of its own. And it's very clear, you guys know, I have lived here on Grand, and everybody knows where I live, away from my husband for 6 years. Away from the love of my life for 16. Gosh, I'm gonna have to record this and make sure he sees that.
I'm sure Mike would appreciate it.
Yeah.
And which one we talk about, your husband or the love of your life?
They're the same person right now.
Same time.
But we have made that sacrifice because I wanted to serve the community that I grew up in. And the law requires that I do that. So if they decide that we're non-compliant, then they take those cases away from us, and someone who maybe has only set foot in this county to shake hands at a Lincoln Day dinner and tell me his name repeatedly as if I don't remember it, would take over your case. Had to make sure it was recorded before I did that, Scott.
Bless your heart.
So that's not what you all want. you all don't want somebody who doesn't know our community standards, who doesn't know our community's needs, and respect our community's resources. So let's just say that we did have an abortion clinic, because marijuana is probably never going to fall into the category I'm about to introduce. If we had an abortion clinic and your prosecutor refused to prosecute a case, or enough cases that they could find me non-compliant or one of my successors, they could come in and in theory, because it involves death, we might find ourselves in the point where we're talking about a high dollar trial with the community standards of a different community and no concern for our community resources. These are tough decisions that I've made for 22 years now. But sometimes, even when your gut of being a small town citizen is like eye for an eye or whatever, death penalty would bankrupt us. High dollar murder trials would bankrupt us. Some of these, and you know, what do you do? If it's got to be prosecuted, and you just pay their bill if they want to prosecute it that way. So that's where we are. They won't give us money to do our jobs. They want to give it strings attached. They already have the first part in place. Will it affect Fayette County? Probably not. I haven't heard that the hospital here is going to be performing a lot of abortions or anything. But will it affect other places? Maybe. But for now, we didn't even get the money part of it. So there's no, now it's just a strong arm kind of deal. But that's where we are, and we've lost all the funds for the prosecutor and for this one position, and it's important that we keep it. My staff cannot give the attention to the cases. As 3 attorneys, we cannot give the attention to the cases that are needed in order to steer people not just to prison, but into the programs that we actually still do have available. If we have to do it more like a cattle call, there's just not going to be that attention to help our community. All we're going to be doing is warehousing. The state still pays that time right now. So. But do we want to move on to postage?
Speaking of.
We haven't incurred any postage. Or well, maybe not, or maybe not this one.
Well, so we have this habit of, let me see what's over here. I meant to ask if we used to have this habit before e-filing of in like December or before the last claim, we'd look and see what we had left in postage and we'd buy it, and we'd be like the second behind the post office in this county of how many stamps we had. And I think we've been riding that wave a little bit.
Yeah.
We do e-filing now. We used to have to send everything local attorneys had little boxes in the clerk's office, but if we dealt with out-of-town attorneys, we had to send everything to them. We just mailed a lot more. Times are changing. I've meant to ask where we were on postage because that's kind of a chuckle point for me. You know, I don't know. We're not going to spend it if we don't need it. That's kind of where we are, you know.
You haven't spent since 2023.
Yeah, like I said, I think our stockpile is dwindling, but like I said, Sonya's actually out today, so I meant to ask her where we were on postage and didn't yesterday. To go look in the cabinet, the locked cabinet, to see
You
how
should have
much.
went before it went up.
Well, you know we did. We're probably still using
40-cent maybe.
Yeah. We have stamps. Things are going out. I see it going.
Maybe, when we talked to Judge Branson earlier, he said there's 4 cases that are looking like they're gonna be pretty expensive cases coming up. I'm assuming that they're cases that you're gonna be prosecuting.
One is not.
Okay.
One is the murder. It's a 2 murder, it's a double murder, like 2 different murders, not one incident. And one of those happens to be a cousin of mine,
So you're not.
the victim. The gentleman found at the cemetery was a cousin of mine, not a first cousin, but I pulled with him all through school.
Sure.
We were like first cousins, and I'm not handling that case.
Sure. But the office will still handle the cost of it, right?
The county is still responsible for the cost of it.
So have you done any planning for that in the budget here? Like any kind of forethought of what that cost will
So
handle those costs?
the cost that Judge Branstetter was talking about, I have included mental health evaluations, and
Yeah.
those come out of his budget.
I was thinking like depositions and crap like that.
Usually those are incurred by the defense and also come out of his budget because it comes out of the PD budget. We, there may be some deposition, we have a line for depositions and we don't use it a lot. When we do a deposition, I try to not get a copy until I know I absolutely have to go to trial on it because every little bit helps. We take good notes, we evaluate the case. If it can be settled, then it can. If not, then we have to get those. So the depositions line, it looks like you can see like in 23 we only spent $72 by one copy we got of something.
And I didn't know if there's any other things in there that might need to be a little higher because of those 4 things coming up.
The witness fees won't, in that case, my knowledge of it at least is, which is pretty much probably what your knowledge is, it seems to be officers and any experts would actually be from the state, so we don't have to pay them. When I have a lab tech come or a blood splatter or anything like that, that's taken care of for us. So other than depositions, I don't see a whole lot. And when we get to the point where we use more of that, I actually look to my diversion and deferral.
Okay.
So, because we have those other 2 funds in addition to the 40 that we can use for the criminal side of it that we generate through diversions and deferrals. And I put a little bit in the budget for those things, I put a little bit in the budget for extradition, but when it gets down to being gone, then I look at those funds to make up the difference rather than asking the county to do more. And those all fluctuate. Some years we won't have an extradition, some years we won't have a trial, other years we'll have 3 or 4.
And these trials he was talking about potentially could come up and get continued, potentially.
It could, I'm not sure what the trial date is on the one I'm not handling. But
I mean, it could potentially happen in the following year.
But we have one, without knowing which one he was talking about, we have,
So there's 2 murders and 2 attempted, or a case with 2 murders and then 2 attempted murders.
I think I have one of those settled. The ones that I'm thinking of. So maybe one of those. But again, they're not the expense of a trial, and I hear all the time on jail calls that defendants think that we won't go to trial because I won't want to pay for the cost. You know, first of all, they don't come out of my pocket. They don't come out of my budget. But they're not as great as people seem to think. The jury cost is the biggest cost. I had one that we actually took the jury cost out of bond once, years ago, and it was $3,000–4,000. Not money that we want to spend. Nobody wants to spend $3,000 or $4,000, but it's not. There's until you get into the death penalty, we're not looking at six-digit trial costs. We're looking at thousands.
And most of the costs will be incurred probably from the pauper attorneys, I'm assuming.
Pauper attorney fees and judges. Because the jury fees and stuff come out of the judge's budget. So I think it looks like we're maybe gonna try one in September, I think it is. Then I would expect, I kind of expect one or two more. We've kind of had these things come in cycles. We've kind of, there's some older ones we're just not getting anywhere on, we're just gonna start trying them. And so once we start trying them, we might try 2 or 3 before people stop doing that so much, or whatever. But I don't know that, I think maybe 2 of the 4 that Judge Branstetter is concerned about. You know, I have more insight into where we are in negotiations. He's not allowed to know any of that. So I think, you know, we try to keep that to a minimum, but again, still do our jobs.
Sure.
But I don't see that impacting our budget much.
Great.
Do you have any questions for us, Betty?
I think so. We've only looked at 2 of them. Oh, and you know what? I'm glad. I knew there was something else. When you think about, are the diversion and deferral in here?
Deferral's on page 40.
The other thing that we have done, that's in the other one. I know where diversion is.
You got deferral fees on 40 and pretrial diversions on 50.
I think every year I have to remind myself that you guys see the telephone on there. We have cell phone and telephone, and I know that you all pay for our phones that are on our desk, that service, but we pay for the phone line that communicates fingerprints with NCIC and with all the other powers that be from the jail. That's actually a line that's in the name of Fayette County Sheriff, but we pay for that as part of our information sharing through our programs and their programs and NCIC. So when you start looking at that later, you'll see that and wonder why I think I'm paying for the phone, but it's a line over there. Okay, so what I want you to see on page 50 is that while we have always tried to be creative with 4D funds and paying as much as we can based on what areas they work on, we have also reimburse you all. And right now that amount is $25,000 that we reimburse to county general.
Which one was that, Betty? I'm sorry, I was turning.
On page 50.
I'm on 50, yeah.
The second to the last line.
Okay, reimburse salaries to county general, 25,000. And what did you say about that?
So that's how we try to offset the costs of some of the salaries. You know, some of our people are working on managing the deferrals and diversions, which is a lot of date tracking and paperwork, and we try to funnel that back into the county from there. they're helping to generate those funds. And one of the things that we budget for is to give you guys 25 out of that to reimburse salaries. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Didn't do a very good job of getting you to lunch early, sorry.
We're on a roll.
I have also, in doing this, emailed with our consultant on the 4D side to make sure that all the numbers, this is just something I pulled out and said, we'll make this work. I made sure that it would be all right to keep our reimbursement in line before I pitched it to you all.
I understand that one.
Yeah, I gotta try to stay in line.
I see your extraditions are up.
Yeah, we've had a few.
You had a lot in 24.
Yeah, I'm not real sure why people were being found in 24. You know, some other agency just calls and says, hey, and then, you know, sometimes we don't go a whole year without any of them.
Right.
And sometimes they're just Kentucky or Tennessee, and other times they're California and Maine and wherever else.
Well, you did great. Congratulations on finally getting to be with the love of your life.
Thank you, thank you. We're pretty excited.
I bet. I
Pretty
bet.
excited. I'm not gonna completely stop working, but I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Yeah. Will you be here in the county or?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm moving.
Going to Columbus, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, it's closer to one of my children.
Must be a lot closer to Cole.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
Oh, good. You deserve it.
Tell
Thank
him
you.
get you some grandkids too.
You know, I don't go there, Dave. I'm very good. I don't,
That's good.
we're ready when they are.
Mm-hmm. When he's ready, he'll be ready, right?
Yep, when they are, we'll spoil them rotten.
There you go. That's good.
Yes, you will. Trust me.
Spencer's still in California?
Yes, yes, and it looks like he might be staying there again for another
tour?
another whatever. It's not really a tour, I guess, if you stay where you are, but, so, yep, he's still in San Diego. And the other two, Mike has two as well, and they are right now in Connecticut and Santa Claus, Indiana.
Well, you just get to travel all over the place.
And the one in Connecticut, they're talking about moving again, so we just try to get wherever they live before they move again.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's
for
close
sure.
and close to home. When you move, it'll be close to home for two of them.
Yeah, exactly. We just see them quite often, so.
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we recess for lunch, Madam President?
Yes, we'll recess for lunch and be back at 1 o'clock.
About 5 minutes from now.
Good.